for your meat. He said, eat of the meat and drink of the milk. So thank you, Father, for all the agricultural signs, the signs that had to do with like the parable of the fig tree and the grapes. Grapes to be ripe on the vine for harvest. So the first fruits, remember, farmer gets the first fruits. About wheat and chaff, or weeds and wheat and all the different, again, the meat of your word. Your word is the meat. It's what feeds us, daily bread. Thank you for the daily bread. And thank you for all the agricultural signs. And thank you for creating all those workers of light and then all the bad apples. So it's beautiful, Father, how much, if we sup with Father, if we sup with Him and not with vipers, don't cast your pearls before swine. Remember the old dietary laws, we have to eat swine, but we're not under the law. Remember, He fulfilled all the laws of the dietary and celebration and fine and feed and ritual so that we don't do these things. Especially celebrate on a calendar. That's perversion. They grow food. That's what a calendar is to grow food. That's why they had a calendar. That's why they looked up in the sky, not to worship Baal gods, Baal and sun, stars like Stars and Stripes, or Hollywood stars, deities, little g gods. They're idols. It wants to follow the word, eat of the meat. And again, don't sup with those who are going to feed you watered down milk. So if you're find a man that's feeding you the meat, and then we're equally covenanted under this, man or woman, then you're supposed to give them your time or your support them through your time and tied to them, especially not doing out stuff with vipers. So tie this time in this ministry, remember? So we got a time machine. We're gonna make it up or something. Back to the future. Nano. We're gonna go to the stars or something. Warp speed. So thank you, Father, for the meat. So do you want to grow food? If you don't, you can unsubscribe to the channel. It's all right. You gotta at least be putting, he had to build the ark. Just seriously, do you want to grow food? If you're not trying to grow food, I don't know what you're doing. That should be like your main thing. And they took that away from everybody, mostly. No, they didn't. People just willingly give it up. It's not like they can't grow food. They just don't try. So put a yes or some kind of food symbol or something in the chat. Let's spark the algorithm. Do you want to grow food? Do you have food security? Those who say peace and safety, sudden destruction. So you better be able to walk away from all your food and be able to hunt or gather in the woods. What, you got a skill set? You better walk away from everything. You sit there with stripes. Remember, stripes, rows of food. People can come take that. That's easy. You know what a food forest is? You heard the term food forest? It's not grown in rows. Better go back to the ways of old. You got to get there. You're going to have to get there. It's really starting to, like I said, it's a build a boat thing. If you're not growing any food, I don't know what you're doing. I don't think Father's calling out to you at all. I don't care what else you're doing in your life. If you're not growing or trying to grow your own food, you don't see what's coming. You have a world of hurt coming. You really do. You better get food secure. You better have like abundance, bounty, baskets full, overflowing, stores or, cabinets are busting open because Father gave you abundance, not gluttony, for those rainy days. when that storm, not rain, remember the fan? They put that big dong in front of it. It goes all over you. Yeah, that's when you probably want to not be running the toilet paper aisle and fighting people for less toilet paper. Oh yeah, and food too. Remember, so got something to wipe your teepee for your bunghole. You gotta fight for the last roll there down there at the teepee tobacco 2.0. Here we go again, honey. Oh, glad we did what the word calls us out to do. Have extra oil. Noah still had to build an ark. He prayed with Father, and again, he had face-to-face time, not Facebook or Twitter or whatever social media about Mockingbird media. Operation Mockingbird, they'll mock you through children's television and animation, through television, Adult Swim, and The Simpsons have never let me down. That's a good study tool right there. I tell you, I never watched a whole episode, but there's a lot of prognosco for what is to come. No, to have foreknowledge of. What's going on with that, huh? So, all right, it's just it's a study tool. Remember, you're supposed to study, not take a man's word. He said, believe no man. Be sure no man deceive you. Remember, Mammon, you can't serve two masters, Mammon and Father, the Most High. Otherwise, you're an idolater and you probably celebrate a calendar. You don't even try to grow any food. You just go to work and pay the beast. He hated the beast. He stood up to the Walmart, the Winco, the Piggly Wiggly, whatever crow. Remember, he doesn't like oppression. Remember, they were made sure back then if the corn fell off the back of the cart, it was to stay there. They made their big boy club like their Walmart. Remember, George Carlin is a big club and you're not in it. So, what do you think George Carlin would be saying right now? Had a discussion with somebody the other day and said that to man. I need a George Carlin update. Oh, Father, you take the good ones too young, Father, but that's all right. We're all eternal, so most of us on this rock will go to hell because most of us don't ever define hell, don't know where hell is at, so we're kind of already there. But either ways, those who use remember the body's the temple. Those who use our heads, we got two of them right there. We know where hell's at, and we know that Earth isn't below our feet. You don't live on Earth, and planet means wander, so you surely don't live on planet Earth. And it's not 2026. If you think it's 2026 and you worship a calendar, you're a lunatic. Remember, lunatics about to steal the show. You're in hell already. Remember, well, so to speak. Speak, tongue, dialectus, glossa, bis, knowledge. How about that? That the speak. Remember, don't sup or speak. Don't change. Don't add, take away. He has a lot of rules, doesn't he? Well, they're statutes, commandments. I'm not bound by the laws of flesh or, remember, water. The age of deception. That age is over. The veil's been lifted. Welcome to Revelation. Hold on. It's about to get to another wave of sorrows. Remember, it's going to get more intense. Tabernacles. Prognosco, you should have foreknowledge of what is to come. It's in the scripture. You don't need a crystal ball. Remember, there's no hocus pocus magic. Come here and let me pay me, and I'll tell you fortunes and lies and squeeze on my goat skin and throw my voice like a ventriloquist and give you your lucky lottery numbers if you'd like to. Remember? 7, 11, 13, 59, and never mind. There's no such thing as free will. There's no such thing as luck. I was just kidding. So, no chance. So, Father knows where the dice will land. You can try to shave the dice or stack the deck, but Father knows. Prognosco, remember? I just told you that it's written in the word. Every jot and every tittle will come to pass for the final trump. Not some guy on some social media knocking off parts of the White House, destroying. I'm going to put a Baal room. Baal is Satan. So. But about the glass EC ritual they're doing there, painting the glass EC in front of the phallic White House, in front of the White Horse or White House. Mr. Warp Speed. Well, they end up spinning on that. Oh. These guys just yeah. it got cold here too. I think we're about to warm up over the top, over freezing here. So I already lost most of it, but it's freezing a little bit, so I have time to replant, and I'll put the cover on it. But pretty windy today. Got the rest of the electric marked out and had the excavation, looked at. Came out and put a look, and so might have to get off here if I get a call and go pick up the equipment to do the excavation. But and heard from him yet. But I told him we don't do it on a time clock. I have time. I mean, I don't want to worship time or do anything in a hurry. Nope, no doing it on a time clock. I was kind of like, please, no, let's not do this and be worried about time. It don't matter. Time is an illusion. Stop it. Who sold you on the idea of time? Over there. Put some sauce. There we go. Probably be ready. I'll do it. Figure out what to do. You will, Hermit. So I'm making some sausage, some beef sausage. So yeah, if I get a phone call, that might be what it is. So not a message or anything, but I do have that appointment on Friday. So I have to go see another neurosurgeon or whatever, orthopedic surgeon on Friday. So they have this veterans thing out here. This time I just chose to have them give me a ride, and I am a veteran or whatever. And it's not just for veterans, but there's some other, obviously, seniors they do. But I'm going to go into town and get that done. So we'll see what happens with that, how that all turned out. I didn't turn out like I wanted it, but oh well. Then I had another little hiccup today. I went and looked at the box, had the box for the electrics, a 400 amp breaker. And I don't have the right box. It's a 400 amp breaker. And it's, like $1,000, $958 or something, but it doesn't have a side access. So if they come in and hook it up and then they put a lock on it and lock me out, I could never, I mean, it could be done, but I'd have to hook it up, like have the manufacturer or the mobile home hooked up and then hook that up to that and then hook it all up at one time. And then I'd always have to gain access off the house. And I don't want to do it that way. So I'll figure it out. So I was astounded how much the price of these things have gone up since I bought one, So they're like $1,600. So I might have to scale back down. Maybe they're less. I don't know. I was trying to find somebody else who can. It seems like we're so limited again. Remember, I ask people sometimes to look things on the internet because you get a different set of results than I get. You, Zarina, you'd be up north, but talk about like people here, and not that you couldn't too, because you could find something up there, but try to find something sourced locally here where I can either find another box or find, because it has knockouts on the side of it where you should be able to put another access panel on the side of it. So I called the electric company today, and the owner, out here with the one of their that does most of the electric out here, and they haven't returned my call yet. And I called 3 of the parts companies, and they are all excellent. They really were. It was Eton, Beeline, and Cooper. And they were all excellent, all this customer service, but they still couldn't tell me whether I can order that additional side and just add it, to it, and because I just need like just a breaker or just the side, but I have them, you know, like the meat and potatoes of what the unit is, where they put the meter in, the three double legs, the leg coming down and the one on the bottom. I mean, that, like I said, that's almost $1,000 for $970 or something for that box. I bought it a year ago, so thanks for coming in. So I guess I ordered the wrong one. You know, when I ordered it, I ordered a 400 amp breaker. I thought it was the right one. So whatever. I don't mess with electric. I don't like getting shocked. I don't like the idea of being blown from here to the neighbor's house. You know, for snow. But so we'll figure it out. I was a little bit disappointed. I don't know how to cover that, but I might have to scale down my amperage, which I don't need 400, but man, I would sure like. Even the guy, the electric company came out and does the inspection for mid-stays. Like, that's a smart move. Pay for that now, because they put in different wiring. I mean, it holds a bigger load, so you can like run a welder or things like that. So again, if I sold the property, it just makes it more, gives it more value. Pay for it now, but that gives it a lot more. Sell it to somebody who's going to use it as a farm, or put a pole building out here, or a shop or something like that down the road. You know, because I'm definitely going to think about splitting this ministry and split the homestead, because I'm going to build another homestead in the back. I've learned so much, you know what I'm saying, from the 10 years that I've been out here on how to do this. It's beautiful what's up here. I think somebody would take this. Actually, I'm, you know, like the person that I'm working with on the excavation, they want to do that with their properties, to sell out little mini homesteads, race ready turnkey homesteads that already have the, you know, a couple 2-bedroom house, you know, 3-bedroom, something with a cabin, an outdoor kitchen, you know, pizza fired oven, just some of the basic outdoor that things that, and then the stalls, the, you know, all the panels and the kennels, and even talked about putting in like chicken outdoor out here. But oh, hallelujah. You betcha, Buck. Oh man, that help you to get you centered, doesn't it? So you go one word study, right? One word study. Jim does more than that, obviously, right? But you can start and go one word at a one, and he has a definition for every word. He's a walking concordance. I told you he is a walking concordance. He knows all where it's at, and he's incredible. He's just, I don't put him on a pedestal, but he makes me look, you know, but I don't care. I not share the gospel? Is there, have you seen any variance between the gospel being taught there and the gospel being taught here? Not the celestial gospel, because I told you, that's the only thing. Just please don't listen to a celestial teaching. Like during Christmas, he talks about a little bit, and he puts the image up. But other than that, because I'll do it all year and all the time, I just constantly are, you know, it's just what Father did me. But the gospel base here, not the celestial gospel, but the gospel. Is there any difference? Because I don't know anybody else that's teaching the gospel other than Brother Jim Brown in this ministry. So, and tell me, you got to keep me in the straight and narrow. Hados, keep me in that hados. You know what I'm saying? He knows so much more than me, but I don't want to know what he knows. I don't want to be Jim Brown. I don't want to be him. I am not Jim Brown. I am revelation. I am the celestial magi that's going to get your celestial eye ready. Look up, for your redemption draweth nigh. The cosmos is an orderly arrangement. It's not above your head, remember? So there's things, Jim Brown, that I love his passion. I love it. I mean, he's got 40 years on me, for Christ's sake. You know, he's definitely got a lot. And here he listened in school. I didn't listen. Why, I heard him, but I didn't listen. See what I'm saying? He remembers stuff in school. I didn't really go to school until I went to I learned more out of school. What I learned in school, most of it was a lie. To be 100% upfront with you, most of it was just a bunch of hogwash propaganda. I'm glad I didn't get propagandized, you know, by a lot of that crap. I was there, I just didn't listen. You know what I'm saying? I heard it, but I didn't listen. So there's a difference. But okay, but thank you, Buck. I appreciate that, because that's important to me. You know what I'm saying? That there is no change. You know what I'm saying? I don't want, the gospel is the same. Look, Buck, you have went over there and you've been here, and I'm not sitting there. I told you, this ain't some echo chamber that we're doing here. You have to cut off people who are not in the hados. Remember, You give a man fish, and then you give him a fishing pole, and then you tell him to kick rocks. Brother Jim is the same way. You do not help people who do not want to help themselves. They'll be hungry for the word. You're not turning goats into sheep. You know, that's what I love about the gospel that's here. I'm a little, my cosmos, poorly arrangements that Father has it come out of from my heart. But it's here, but from my heart. He wrote it here, and then he lets it speak for me, not me. I have nothing to do with it. I'm just some filthy rag sitting here being like not literally, but like an android or some computer. I've been programmed by the word. It makes me do. Remember, if I didn't call out to the hearts to seek after me, not one of them would. So you think I'm doing this? I'm not doing it. People come in here, take it all personally, like they think they're going to get to me. They're always going to get. I'm serious. 100%, brother, sister. Only the people who are normally come back, and you've been back your bucks will get you there. Right, please, same thing. Use that moderator. Look, I don't. When I go into teachings at Grace and Truth, the live streams, I don't talk to anybody anymore because I get interrupted and I can't do Jim's lesson. I don't want to have to do it twice. I don't have time. I have this ministry. You know what I'm saying? It's not that I'm not still in the study mode, but I have responsibilities too. Jim Brown does that pretty much full time, and I have this that I'm building. He wants to someday build something out there in, Hendersonville, but definitely, appreciate your continue. Remember, we don't bring people here. Father brings. Nobody's doing anything that Father didn't create. Not evil, Father. Isaiah 45:7, calamity, chaos. That's to test the bride. No free will, no luck. It's all no chance. Father creates evil to test the bride. Okay, I mean there has to be evil. That's part of what this whole. It's mathematical. So don't listen to anybody who doesn't enter over or understand that, because nothing is under you. It should not be under you. So, right, yeah, and I already have that here, Buck. You know what I'm saying? I pretty much have that here. What he's trying to do, I have here. I just bought a building. You know what I'm saying? I bought a classroom, a building. I have the cabins out here. All of these could be, and there's so much more that could be out here. You know what I'm saying? And it's not up to me. He has a much bigger. I know now that, and I don't mean to go there, but I know that putting this power out here, is going to change a lot for the ministry. It will. It's a lot more inviting to go to a place where you can have a flushing toilet. Not that I'm saying these composting toilets are not the end of the world. I have $1,300 toilets, a couple of them, and they're not, they do a good job at making sure that, your urine doesn't mix with your urine is what smells. I mean, it's not that your douche number 2 doesn't have us, but it doesn't once it mixes with the, the earthy composting mix or whatever. And I haven't even done that yet. Wanting to do the sage, I think you wouldn't even smell nothing. I finally got, I don't know how long it's been. I hurt myself picking that stupid thing up because, see, that's what I'm saying. It's nice to have a flushing toilet, but I went a little extra week, and it's just like a little earthy smell. If you ever went out in the forest, deep in the woods or something, and lifted up that ground, and it's got that real earthy kind of a earthy smell, I was like, what is that? Oh, we have done the compostings, but they do a good job of keeping. They don't really smell. I don't have the vent hooked up on mine. Some people, you put a vent and switch, and I've never done that mine, and I still don't really, I don't smell it. So they're nice, but I do think that, having these extra amenities out here, having the freeze dryer to produce the abundance, the homestead, this is even bigger than what Jim Brown wanted to do, and that's fine. It's just a little bit different. I think that one day that this ministry will somehow, some way come up with the funding to give Jim Brown. I could have sued. I could have sued this state. I could have sued Josephine County. I could have sued this county, but I don't want. The taxpayer doesn't seem. That's not a tithe to the ministry shouldn't come from the taxpayer. Father, remember Shiloh? He hated taxes. He whipped. Remember, he went in there and got all. They were selling oxen and sheep. They had it in the temple. The doves. You've turned my father's house into a den of thieves. Remember, he fastened the corning off the curtains, and he whipped. He literally whipped out all of that, drove all that out of the temple because it was, again, conversion and extortion and, taxation. What they were doing is they were converting the old money into the new money, and you had to pay a conversion rate. Exchange, the money changers, they were charging an exorbitant rate, just like we do here in America. No different. We are the money changers of Scripture, 100%. That's why I beat it into your heads on here all the time. And we don't. That's why. Are you growing any food? 1% of the U.S. You're not. Only 1%, less. 40% during the Second World War, and we're in the Third World War already. So, are you growing food? No, nobody's growing food in this country, not as a whole. And that is your escape of the system, is to become self-sufficient, go back to the ways of old. Put the system behind you. You don't need it. Go find a little plot of land. Get, if you got a family of 5, you can get a dozen chickens. There's your eggs. There's an income off of chickens alone. And they're popular right now. People got tired of paying $12 a dozen. That's almost what it costs you to raise them by yourself. But whatever, you'll find they're not cheap to raise organic eggs. But boy, they got 30 to 40% more protein. You can water glass them and make them last for years right on the counter if they're somewhat shelf-stable environment. You can freeze dry them or dry them too, make them last even longer, put them in a Mylar bag, make them for 25, 30 years plus probably. But again, it's a superfood. It's a protein. Grow a small garden and you can sustain life. Small cabin, start small. I started in a tent, had everything taken, and when I was built up out here and started back over again. I want to hear it. Outstanding. Good stuff, man. Keep going. Keep going. That's what you should. I don't know why aren't people food motivated? Why don't we sit there and talk about all the time? Oh man, I'm growing this. I'm doing that. Hey, what hey, I got blueberries going. Man, they suck this year. What's going on with this distributor? We don't ever talk about nothing. We're like, oh, we're going to work and to the Walmart or to the Piggly Wiggly to go to we're going to stop by at the Dutch Brothers because it's convenient. Sells second to sex. Well, not actual prostitution, but the insinuation like a low-cut dress. Or maybe a guy in some gray flannel sweats or something. I don't know. It's convenience is what I was saying. Again, back to that. Get your head out of mind, out of the gutter. Okay, anyways, thank you, Father, for keeping us in the hados and the straight and narrow here. We should be super food motivated, and nobody is. And that's why we've let them take. Look at it's not like right before I came in here, Father. Actually, hold on a second. Get the food that I have. Get on this a little bit. Keep smelling this. I'll put that in there. It's like people think. I mean, they just don't know. Think about it. I'm just gaming this with you, like I said, because before I came in here, Father was calling out to me through the Word. You know what I'm saying? I talk with Father a lot. It's called pray. It doesn't mean get on your knees and play like the heathen, repetitive or long, or even if you're going to pray the Lord's Prayer, you better know what every one of those meanings mean. That was written I've covered in here with you. I've gone over the Lord's Prayer, what it means. It's not what most people don't pray it is. You can go back to the Aramaic and study it in the Aramaic, just like Hebrew. It has a frequency. It has a resonance. It means a lot different than what you think it probably most people, but you pray like a heathen. Just make it a repetitive prayer. He said, don't do that. So, but long, Father knows what you want. Father is creator of all things. You don't think he knows what you want? He created everything. Why do you even ask him? I'm not saying there's not power in prayer, but, follow the Lamb. Do what he wants, not what you want. He already knows what you want. Huh? Whatever. If you don't get it, then just move along. It's not for you. So, okay, anyway, so I was supping with Father because that's how he talks to me in the Word. And, knowing that going back to the source, that is what the Lord's Prayer is about, too. If you'll just go back and listen to what he was telling us through the Scripture, not what you think the words mean in modern translation. Go back to what they mean again in the Aramaic and study them and the resonance and the value. And it's what I've already taught you here. I've given you a more simplified version of what it is, you know. So we can go back and do that again on another, you know, we definitely can have a whole discussion just going over. It doesn't say Lord, remember, it says Master. All right, I don't want to go into the whole thing. So anyways, Father, I was supple with Father, you know, and he was showing me that back to source. Broad is the way. That's in the scripture, brothers and sisters. All the big cities have Broadways, you know, they have a main street and a big clover leaf like Lucky Charms, you know, the big highway, the byway. Broad is the way that leads to hell. Father hates capitalism. They were trying to build up riches and reach Hollywood and the stars, you know what I'm saying? And all this orchestrating this big boy system. Once again, Babylon, Rome, we keep doing the same thing over and over. Remember, planet means wander. So if at any time that you don't have, this doesn't feel correct, you can planet. That means wander. You don't live on a planet, okay? Just so you know. Planet, okay? If I say that to you, planet means get the flock out of Dodge. You're a goat. I don't hang out with goats. This is we're having a wedding rehearsal. This is for lambs only. So Father's the ram, remember? So the final Trump, not some dude on social media. Father is the aletheia truth. There ain't no truth that comes out of that man's face. So he's a taco bender, remember? 34, you know, time convicted felon, convicted rapist, and we know what he does behind closed doors at the island. He brings, remember, he's one of those Boy Scouts, Girl Scout, you know, they got kicked out of the Boy Scouts for eating all the brownies. No, he ate all the, never mind, I think he ate all the, never mind, let's leave it alone. He eats both, remember? The buffet, they got the buffet at the island. They bring boys and girls to the island, or island boys and girls. You know, island boys. I already told you that before that ever came out, remember? I was doing that here on this ministry. I told you they were island boys before they were, because it was been on the dark web for decades. This has been under the light on the white papers. Hello? In the light white papers on the dark web. Didn't you ever get on the dark web? No, I don't want to go in the dark web. The government might be watching me. They're always watching you. Father's inside you, not in the sky. You should be more concerned about who's looking behind these eyes. You ain't getting away with nothing. Father knows your intentions. He sees what the world doesn't see. Oh, you thought you got away with it? Well, at the final Trump, remember, all were raised. There's only one judgment. That's another thing that's never, I don't know why it's not, there's only one. Remember the seventh seal, the final seal, the skies will roll back like a scroll. That there's nobody's died and gone to heaven. Put a one in the chat if you think grandma's sitting in the air somewhere, or your dead ancestors, or somewhere in the air somewhere. You know, heaven above you. Heaven's not above your head. Heaven is, remember your tongue. Alien tongue is the earth. You're ruled by the dirt. That's idolatry. He divorced his bride exactly for that, worshiping dirt. Heathenism, like I was just talking. Praying like a heathen. Not supping with the word. Supping with vipers. Letting that rub off on you like me rub you wrong time. Remember? Pleasure's worse than the pain. Watch. You'll see at the end. So you're not getting away with nothing. You know, there's no, where are your dead, where are all the dead people at right now? See, this idea that dead people go to the sky is what I'm telling you. This is all the worship of stars, like stars and stripes, and like that's on the flag. They put this imagery in everything, brothers and sisters. They don't play around. These people are masters, remember? Lord. That was never written in the Old or New Testament. So careful about that term. See, which Lord are you following after? You know? So where do most people think dead people are at right now? Well, grandma died and she was a good person. Well, what is good? According to the word. And what is good according to the world? Remember, if you were loved by the world, you'd be hated by my Father. Ha 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 ha! Yeah, buddy. Better wake up. Stop listening to the whirly, spinning, perverted on a ball trick. Okay, Toba you guys get it. It is. Where are dead people to most people in their head? And where is Father? Oh, Father's right there. See, they're not there. That's called hell. Hell's right here. Heaven's right here. Hell's not there. Earth's not there. Planet's not there. Heaven's not there. Cosmos means an orderly arrangements. Remember? Orderly arrangements. Not one out of order. He said any star that's out of place in the firmament will be chained at the final trump. You might find yourself gnashing teeth next to a star. And not a Hollywood star. Maybe a pedophile too, huh? Maybe both. You'll have a star on one side and a star on the other. Imagine that. Not dragons. Whoa. Pain. So remember, believe is an action word. It's not a verb. These people think they believe that God's in the sky and they're dead people. Believe is a verb. Can't believe in anything. That's not what believe means. It's like all the words is name. All the yods. Not just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3 God, 4. There, well, whatever. Remember, YHVH, right? YHWH. Jesus 5. That's not what name is. That doesn't what name. When he said, "Hallowed be thy name," it says Shem. Shem is authority, so it means every single jot, tittle, yod, and not one single one out of order, or you'll go to hell. And he'll deal with you first when he comes back at the final trump. Remember, not some guy on Truth Social. It was Drumpf. Remember, he's from Scotland. No, you're Scottish, right? No, you're wrong. I know, wronger than taking boys and girls to the island. So, with Billary and the whole clan, remember? He loves the Clintons. So, all right. So, don't add. Father's word is perfect. I can't make that. That's what we're doing in here. So, we're doing exactly what he said. Sup, eat, sup, eat, sup. You gotta remember, at tables they laid. So, when you lay, you marry. See how that works? No, you don't marry truth to a lie, dark to light, oil and water don't mix. Cream always rises to the top, remember? Little leaven leavens the whole lump. Well, like a bad apple upsets the whole apple cart, huh? Bah! It always equates. He is the equator, remember? He is the separator on the horizon. He's not this God's in the sky. Stop it. Heaven's right here. Hell's right here. It's not up to me. Where you don't die and go to the sky. You don't die. When you go to the dirt, that's not hell. That's not where hell's at, so you're lost. We have chasms, whole cities underneath our feet, out of sight, out of mind. We have had, from the Yuga cycles, Kali, there's massive chasms, large cities, underground tunnels, chasms. Where do you think the 10 commandments were taken? Hello. Never mind. Shh. Shouldn't have said that out loud. Did I say that out loud? I did. Oops. Fell out. How do you think the mercy seat? How do you think the water, remember? Blood that turned water sprinkled onto the mercy seat. Hello. Never mind. You think you went to hell and went below your feet, huh? That's not where hell is. You are lost, man. You've been sold. You probably live on a planet, right? I know the earth's flat because when people leave town, they never come back. It's a small town, remember? So, or they do round, or all their tricks with blocks or balls. There's remember, the earth is a rule. Remember, it shall not be moved. So they're laying in the dirt. The earth will not be moved from its foundation. The earth is the rule. So they sit there and they're stubborn like a mule, like an ass. Just sit there. Will not be moved. Don't try to feed earthly, dirtly, heathen, pagan, Christian, Catholic, Protestant, Presbyterian, Mormons, demonation, any demon nation that they attach themselves to. Their head will start spinning like an owl or something, right? They'll need an exorcist. No, they need to exercise their rights and shut them. Fifth Amendment Miranda. Remember, they'll go down as the silent majority. They think God is in the sky. You're not going any. The earth will sit there in the dirt. You're not going anywhere. That's what it's telling you. You'll raise, the Hokadesh, the spirit, your works will raise your beliefs, your Maranatha until I return action word, like did you grow food? Did you share the gospel? Did you stand up to people who perverted Father's word? Did you tell people that celebration of birth dates is pagan, Satan, Jesus is the sun god Mithra? Did you go out and tell everybody that we're not to partake in the things of this world, be in it, but be not of it? That God hates. Remember, when we add even a single jot, yod, or tittle to his word, that's why he's here to test us with, remember, the elect will not be fooled. They'll block themselves out of the book of life. It's already written. See, all these things, people are getting all mad at them when you tell them there's no free will. Oh, yes, there is. Nope. It's idolatry, self-will, but not free will. See, everything comes with a price, and you'll pay. Just the way it is. It's the word. He's the equator. Remember, the measure you pour out on others be returned on you. Love thy neighbor like thy enemy like thyself. That's been since the beginning of times, because I'm an eternal being. I'm not 50 some years old. I am hundreds of billions of billions of. There's no such thing as time. That's the thing you have not established yet. You think dead people are just sitting there on the ground, right? And then oh no, they're going to the sky because they went. Nobody's gone to hell. That's not. There's no going to hell when you die. You're supposed to die every single day under this covenant. Remember, to self, flesh, spiritual hokadash, not physical death. You're an idiot. You see, you're under this. It's okay. Remember, not trying to turn goats into sheep. It's not possible. So think about it, brothers, sisters. Your majority of everybody you know in your family are sitting there thinking that God is in the sky, and so all these dead people and people have been judged. The final trump has not happened. Not seen in Revelation the seal. Remember the seals. Remember all the seven scrolls. The trump, the horns will sound. This is Revelation. I think if anybody could give you an understanding of this cosmos, of these seals, this is how it works. But your main focus is you should have been ready before the first seal opened up. Remember water deception? Remember Satan the deceiver, change times. So all these things that you do by time, and you think you're this many years old, and you think you got to go to. There's this many days in a year, and no, that's all perverted. There's 13 months in a calendar. Okay, I'll just tell you that. There's not 12. Decimi 10 is the 10th month. I was born in November, which is the 9th month. Remember, octagon, ocho, 8, scepter 7. I mean, it's lunacy, and you worship this calendar. You go along with it with everybody else. So don't worry about it. When you do this, and when you point out all these errors, you're being judgmental. Yeah, you're supposed to judge righteously. That's Old Testament. Thou shalt not judge. Remember, that's a physical Old Testament law he fulfilled. He came in flesh and hung his flesh because we are under this covenant righteous. We judge with his light. The body is the temple. We put that light and let that speak. Let it shine. Put it at the top of your house. The body is the temple. He is the head of the church. We are the body, not crackers and grape juice. Eat your mother. We had the Mother's Day, what we do here every day, but we did our, getting ready for, we are the mother. The mother is what corrects another man or woman that says Jesus Christ is Satan and he was born on December 25th. There's only 2 birth dates in all of Scripture. You know that? Herod and Satan. So we're not supposed to celebrate birth. Christ was almost 3 years old. They gave 3 gifts when he came into Bethlehem. That baby manger is Satan. That's Apollyon. They birthed, it's a sexual orgy with beasts, man and woman. Why do you think they had it in a manger? Why do you think your Jesus has mange and breast? Remember, Father doesn't have flesh, Hokadesh, his spirit, ghosts. So that doesn't have, you see ghosts, you see flesh, you see magnetism, you see wind. Okay. He birthed the flesh vessel, and that flesh vessel, my love, Shiloh, didn't have breast. You're going to offend the hell out of me. Breasts don't do things for me. Most guys, that's all they care about is breasts. Oh, baby Jesus, or whatever. Anyways, they like round things. I don't know what it is about guys and round things. It's just anything round. They like a ball. They're like a little child just chasing a ball. Oh, there goes the ball. Like a little dog. Oh, a ball. A ball. 2 balls. Oh my God, they're lost in space. So, all right, we'll stop. I was going to play a little pool with you, but we won't keep going. A little 8 ball, but we'll stop. All right, moving on. But my Father does not have flesh, and my love Shiloh, the one he's gonna come pick me up, and I'm excited about the wedding. He doesn't have breasts. He doesn't have breasts. So why would he have breasts? He's the bridegroom. The bridegroom doesn't have breasts. Where the hell do you get that? That's Satan. Their God is 3 gods and 1 God, man, beast, and woman. So why do you think they had an orgy for a whole week in a manger, right? Well, that sounds a lot like Mardi Gras. Yeah, the French, they took and hijacked the same holiday. Remember, you ever been to Mardi Gras? Maybe go to Derby during the opening of the games, Kentucky Derby. Start with, thunder over Louisville, lightning, and then the thunder. Oh, no. Whatever. It's just that same ritual. Show us your tits. Whatever. Remember? Hey, I'm not going to lie to you. That's guys are like, they see balls and they're like a dog. There's so you'll just have to apologize. And like I said, start throwing a couple balls around and then You definitely got them distracted. You're like a Brewster almost. You'd be marrying two balls together, and you could just steal all the rest of their toys, their food, or whatever. Okay, no. But I thought you were a dog pastor. Well, whatever. Father makes me love the word, not balls. So remember, I don't even want to taste one bite of your whatever, just the tip ritual that you don't want it. Nope, don't do no Porky the Pig tip ritual or whatever you're doing there. So I don't eat pork. So I don't. Well, no, thank you. Beef. That's what's for dinner. Eat of the meat, not man chowder. So thank you for coming in. You'll just have to deal with it. Remember, that's the deal. It's already written, so don't worry about it. Father knows who's going to be called out at the wedding. He's the one who sent Shiloh to come back and redeem. He's seated right now, right? That's exactly where he is at. I know right where Shiloh's at. Right here. Seated with Father, and he speaks for me. He's not in the sky. See, I'm going to go where my Father's house is at. That's here, brothers, sisters. Here and here. These two things, and you're right here. Father's house sits right in the middle of remember? The pitch. I've been showing you to the hados, to the narrow way, to the narrow P.O.Box. Deny yourself daily. Take up your cross daily and follow at the crossing, at the pinch P.O.Box, to fit through the straight gate. He's not over our head. He's right here with us. We don't have to go anywhere. He could fall off a cliff. He's to go get stuck in a box or something. He'll still be there with you. Unfold the box. You'll get across. So maybe I can get across to you. Nobody hung from crosses. That's blasphemy. That's heathenism. That's the one birthed in a manger. Apollyon. Maybe he had a twin sister, Artemis. So maybe you need to go over there to the dark side of the moon and hang out or something. You're getting tired of spinning? The only place you can go that I know right now is, well, we're not spinning, right? Why doesn't the moon spin? Oh, because it's the opposite of magnetism, negativity. Negative, soldier. Move on. Don't worry. Don't think about it too hard. You'll break your brain. Skull. So, crack. You're just a thin little Homo sapien. You're not Cro-Magnon. You had a thicker skin, thicker skull, and bigger brain. And he could go into the woods and feed himself or her. Now you need a drive-through, a Piggly Wiggly, and you get everything taken from you, and you have no skill set. You think you're so much because you have a deep, dig, bow, underground military base bunker filled with all kinds of weapons and food and survival kits and kits. Well, what if somebody comes and takes that from you? What are you worth then? Can you go to the woods? Could you skin a buck? Or run a trout line? Yeah, let's set a fall trap, a snare. Can you not kill people for food because you don't know how to fish, trap, or hunt, or you don't actually have any stores put up for later? You could have put it in a honey hole or something, but you're fighting in the pit. Remember, no knowledge. Huh? You don't even grow food. So what would you, if you don't grow food, you're probably not thinking about putting food up somewhere else other than at your house. Remember, because he said, if somebody comes to take what you have, give them the rest of what you own. He don't want you to fight over dirt. So put a one in the chat. Who'd fight over dirt? Would you stay home and protect all your stuff? Or is there anything in your house that's worth fighting for? Other than your kids. I mean, your family, your animals are pretty important too. That's a hard decision right there. But what about your possessions? Would you take a life over everything you own? Is it really worth it? I'm just asking you that. Because most people won't walk away, brothers, sisters. They think they can protect everything they own, and they're going to pay dearly for it. There comes a lot of other things when you think you can hold down 3 or 4 or 5 people, and 10 people come hungry or all get out, and they don't have heads anymore. Well, they do. They're not zombies, but they're thinking with their gut. They're motivated by empty mouths waiting at home. And their bellies are rotten too. Never missed a meal their whole life. Never went a whole day, or let alone a meal. Some people, they're 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, and they're like, are you hungry? Yeah, let's go. See, you're 5 or 6 or 7 people, there's going to always be larger numbers, especially if things get breakdown, which they are. They're the fertilizer, the oil. They're literally blowing up oil refineries all over this rock. We already have had them right here in the U.S. It's happening here in the U.S. now. I know why. Remember, they're bringing in the Tartaria technology, the anti-gravitics, the Antiquitech. It's still on some of the buildings and stuff, but nobody ever wants to talk about it. But I already know. I'm not some kind of prophet, remember? So it should be bland. It should be very easy to see. So But either way, again, don't want that system. I want to be self-sufficient. So why are you not growing your food, guys? Let me bring this full circle to you. Because you don't grow your food. That's why you've lost your independence. You don't even grow your own food. You don't can anything. You don't wash tin foil off and reuse it. You don't. Oh, where is that good, honey? Well, they gave us some canned tomatoes. It doesn't have a born on dating. I don't know if we should eat it. Could have been. How old is it? Right? People won't eat. You know what I'm saying? Oh, a little canned plastic liner with genetically modified, sprayed with chlorinated. It's like, I seriously, brothers, sisters, now I don't want to have anything to do with anybody if they're not growing food. Father just kind of came in here and he told me that. He said, listen, I'm going to pull the veil right now. Apocalypse, you listen to me. You listen, it's in my word. Have extra oil. Don't sup with vipers. If people aren't trying to help themselves, don't help them. Give a man fish. All I have to do is give you the word, brothers and sisters. I can't stop coming in here because I have to give you the word, so this won't stop. But it's like, I don't want to associate with anybody if they're not growing food. You know what I'm saying? I know that sucks, Buck. You know what I'm saying? I can't stand that world right now because we should all be doing this. And that if we just came together, there's like all these food banks, right? Why not? And I'm not saying this like, you know, on the assistance programs, they can, people can buy vegetable starts, even if it's not, they didn't seed them out, they at least can get something started to have some kind of food, and it would teach them how to grow. Why don't you could buy seeds, so you could actually get good food, non-genetically food that you can actually regenerate and grow more food, so you can actually eventually get off the system somewhat. You know what I'm saying? Teach these people. How come we're in low income area? Most low income don't have any access to good food. No, that's why they're most overweight, because they just eat out of the boxes, and there's no nutrient dense fresh vegetables, fresh meats. They're eating out of TV dinners, macaroni and cheese. You know what I'm saying? The hamburger helper with million cow burger or whatever, 1,000 cow burger, if they can get that. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of the times they can't. It's not. They're like eating out of a box in a can, in a bag. It's hard to think that that's how some people their whole life is it, but that's the society we have become when you don't grow your own food. It's convenience, and they get you working, punching the clock. You got to go to work and doing the rat race. You know what I'm saying? Outstanding, good stuff. Thank you, Michelle. Guys, and it's not everybody's going to do it. I'm not trying to force, but if more of us did this, think about it. The food that's available, just vegetables. You know what I'm saying? Just vegetables alone. Okay, if you just tried to grow a vegetable, they'll put you on a government list. Oh no, right? Oh, the government will hate you if you're independent from the system. Oh, we got one growing tomatoes, got someone growing the star stinky muskrat satellite seeds. They're growing some sprouts in their windowsill. Oh, they just pegged an avocado seed with toothpicks. Oh my God, they're gonna get off the system. Oh, they regenerated a carrot. They grew another onion out of an old onion. Why wouldn't we teach people how to become independent of the system? If that's the low income people, and have a community garden where they wouldn't have these food banks. You could go there and, glean from these things and associate with the members. And we go back to, they don't want that. Oh, God forbid. They want you to bite in the zebra stripes and the ho-hos and the ding-dongs. Everything for your kids has got bright colors on it. All the yellow lake dye numbers. You know what I'm saying? Guys, this fruit that's in these vegetables, that's not food. It's grown in fluoridated water, chlorinated water. In a lot of cases, it's sprayed with glyphosates and chemicals. Look, they're out there, standing out there in the 1700s, 1800s, 1900s, early. Farmer, he wore coveralls and had some Timothy hay, alfalfa coming out. Now he's wearing COVID suit, looking like the COVID. You know what I'm saying? You don't need credentials to teach biblical studies. Most people are idiots. 99% of people who walk this rock are biblically ignorant. I don't care if they have a doctorate. I'm not kidding you. I've had people come in this ministry. I'll test them. You bring anybody who has a biblical scholar or degree in this ministry, I'll show you they don't know the gospel. They can't share it in here. They can a bunch of, but see, you can know every bit of scripture, know every verse, every passage, but if you are not a living revelation, especially in this apocalypse, these jots, yods, and tittles, see, but nobody's talking about that. No, we're just going to sit there and act like everything's funky, hunky-dory, and God loves everybody. And no, God doesn't love everybody. Most people go to hell. Nobody's, see, that's what's not taught. No matter if you have a biblical scholar or whatever, there's no gospel. That they don't, there's no, I only place that I know, and you can ask Buck, and I'll ask you in here, that they're actually sharing any true. Remember, there's only, remember, Paul said the other gospel, but there is only one gospel. What he meant by the other gospel, because remember, the last things that the Hamashiach left us is said is don't add a jot or a tittle. These are not even yods, right? He divorced his bride for all idolatry, adding their own thoughts, translating, make their own translation. So, they're Satanists, all of them. I keep trying to tell everybody there is no churches. There is no. He said the most. This is a spiritual covenant, okay? He does not dwell there. Hang out here, and you might get your answers. I'm gonna go back to what I'm talking about. The Most High. See, oh, you can't have tattoos. See, you're trying to put me under the laws of Aaron and Levite. You know, Moses on the temple, and no, I'm not under the laws of flesh. Get away from me. You can't have tattoos. Go. Yes, I know the Old Testament law. I am an eternal being. There's no such thing as time. There's no such thing as death. You're an idiot. Get away from me. The Most High, you're supposed to die to self daily. In time, you're chasing the clock. The Most High does not dwell in temples made by hands. That's why he was such a threat to their synagogues, because it wasn't putting money in their tithe baskets and filling up their churches, when he was saying that the kingdom of heaven was in, that the body is the temple. Come out of my people. He doesn't dwell in temples made by hands. Boy, that doesn't bring people into churches, pews. It stinks, huh? So Orthodox, Roman, Catholic, Latin, Vulgate, all this is Satanism. It's not rooted in any truth. The only truth you're going to find is by aletheia definition. 100%. You leave definition, you leave the truth. Jim Brown. He's the one who says that. Got to give the man credit where credit's due. And he's 100% correct. If you're not studying one word at a time, then you're not. See, you need to narrow off all these other doctrine that's not gospel. Remember, the other gospel is adding one single jot. That's the other gospel. You will go to hell. Why is it that being taught? That's the narrow way. Father is perfect. He does not want his word perverted at all. That Hebrew word is froward, to twist, to add or take away. And that's the last thing he said to us. So he doesn't dwell in temples made by hands. It's written in the book of Colossians 2 and 14, Paul's writings. He said, what's written on stone tablets, Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy. Remember, the 10 Commandments, honor thy father or thy mother. That's not your mom and dad. Even in the Old Testament, it wasn't. Yeah, that's not what it meant. These people are heresy. But this is written, the scribes, because they knew the Hebrew, just like the Aramaic has a very similar, but the Hebrew is a base that each letter has frequency, resonance, and value. It's a mathematical language. It will 100%. That's why he said, if it's not in the Hados, no stone would be left upon another, destroy the physical rituals where there was pride, no judgments. No, all this is, remember, he said it was fulfilled. No stone be left upon another, making that an equally yoked church. He becomes the high priest, the head of the body. We are the temple. But they do their crackers and grape juice, their nonsense. Again, going back to what I was saying. Again, all these churches, all these synagogues, remember, they call them the synagogues of Satan. They don't study any of the dialectus, the glossa, like Jim Brown teaches, and he said call no man teacher, because these are lessons. Call no man father, call no man reverend. See, all these things that people are doing right now, that it's okay, oh, God knows what's in my heart. And it says the heart is continuously filled with wickedness. It's like an ever-flowing eternal fountain of wickedness. If he said, if I didn't call out to the hearts to seek after me, not one of them would. Why is it this being taught? No, because if you tell them that Father's doing it, they want, that won't get their 501c3 funding for their synagogues and their temples like the morons. I mean the Mormons, right? There's no prophecy. Remember, no stone be left upon another. All this, remember, a prophet could speak in one dialect, glossa tongue. No such thing as speaking in tongues. See, all this thing that the world does, because they don't define anything. They can call themselves biblical scholars. Okay, Buck, and listen, all glory to Shiloh. I didn't do this. Father put this on my heart. I have nothing to do with it. You do know that, right? And I think I do know that Brother Jim Brown knows that. Predestination, prohorizo. I also did for know I did predestined horizo, right? To conform to the image, right? I'm going to pull you from your flesh, your darkness, your sin to my horizo, to my light. I am the separator of flesh and hokadesh, spirit and flesh. It's your flesh. That's why he said in Paul's writing, it said, deny yourself daily, right? Remember in Matthew, we talk about the flesh, idolatry, right? What's written on stone tablets, we're going in order. If Cosmos, if you listen, I didn't ask for this, that he writes it on our hearts, right? Once written on stone, that Torah, that Old Testament, Genesis, Leviticus, Exodus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy, the wage of sin was death, one. Whether venial, the smallest, covetousness, or rape or murder, that was a mortal sin, but sin was a sin. Okay, so yes, that is the base of the ministry, is predestination, knowing that Father chose already his bride. It's an oligos. Remember? Oligos, because they fit her through that straight, narrow opening, through the straight gate. Straight is the gate. Who shall ever come after me? Let them deny themselves daily. Take up your cross daily. Follow after me daily. There's always a sister chapter, because under this covenant, he always declares two witnesses, like those two that hang right there in front of your face on that cross, at the crossing, at the P.O.Box, at the pinching, whatever, your pineal gland. I don't sit there and do fleshy nonsense. You guys do all this, then you're going to start thinking that you can astronaut project. Get the hell out of here. Stop it. Go, I can get out of my body. Shut up. Use your Miranda rights. Remain silent. Okay, anyways, moving on. Prohorizo means I divided them in their sin. I divided them in their flesh. I prisoned them. I separated them. They're my bride, and I'm going to torture them. I'm going to pull them. I'm going to beat them. He beats the ones he loves. The devil is wise. Why would he be here beating somebody and going after somebody who is already hell-bound from the foundation of the world? He put that evil, calamity, chaos on this rock to test his bride, to see self. Will you seek vengeance? Will you go by the Old Testament? Eye for an eye, the physical law, right? The laws of flesh. You could, tooth for tooth. Somebody knocked your tooth out, you go knock his tooth out, right? Somebody killed your brother, you go sneak in his house at night and kill his brother, right? That's the Old Testament. You could have sex with your sister, right? Be fruitful, multiply. You've forgotten how all of this was fulfilled when he hung on a tree. He said that. He didn't abolish the law. Remember, he fulfilled all the laws of flesh. So let's go back to Paul's writings. Once written on stone tablets, the scribes. How do they know which yod to write? Because it's a Hebrew language. It has a frequency, a mathematical equation of resonance, a value. It adds up. That's why Jim Brown teaches what he teaches. That's why this ministry mirrors the gospel, mirrors Predestined for Light, because you need a one-word study and stop thinking you know everything. The hardest thing I ever did was be lazy and not use my lexicon, not use my eSword app, not use my brothers and sisters to mother me, correct me. Your mother is the one who corrects you, like father with father's word. And if there's division where one child could go to one and the other and there's a difference, how does that end up in the household? You ever live in that household where one child could go one parent, get what they want, not the other, or the one plays the other, and how's that back and forth go? What's the word tell us about that? Well, that's right. So we're not supposed to do that. It says, let vengeance be mine. So we're to turn our cheek, be meek, not weak. Meek means if somebody comes in to rape your wife or kill you, brothers and sisters, you can protect yourself, but you don't go outside your borders and create anything. That's why homesteading is the answer to all your questions. Grow food, get yourself out of the system, and if you aren't doing that, you can leave this ministry and never come back. I don't care. I don't want you here. Father, I don't have anything to do with it. Father is in charge of this, what's written on tables of stone, the law. Genesis, Leviticus, Exodus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy, all the laws of flesh, fee, fine, celebration, ritual, sacrifice were fulfilled. That's why they hung him from a tree, not a cross. You might get out of your box, okay? When you unfold a box, you get a cross. This is in the book of Colossians 2 and 14. Paul is writing about the Old Testament law, okay? It used to be written in the first 5 scriptures, not books, scriptures. Genesis, there are 53 in the new, right, canonized, New Testament 13, 58 of the old, making 53 and 13 to make up 66, that you can take every word out and define it with your lexicon. That's how you study. That's how you're going to find Father. Father is the Word. In the beginning was the Word. He had to fulfill the flesh. Once written on stone, I am the Alpha, I am the Omega. He comes back, remember, to redeem the bride. once written on stone, is now blotted out and sprinkled with the blood of the Lamb, fulfilling all the rituals. Remember, that's why even beard blood, when they ripped his beard out of his face, not just the crown of thorns that went into his skull, and the soldier that stuck him, the nails, right? Not what's all this weird stuff you guys do? Go study Roman torture. There was nobody who was hung from a cross. All these, he had his hands. Stop it. They hung people from trees. Their favorite way was to stretch somebody back so they could coronavirus them. Oh yeah, George Floyd them, Eric Carpenter them. Oh, make them go through the whole masquerade so they can't breathe. Pneumonia, breath. It was a respiratory virus, right? Corona, I come quickly. Let no one take your crown. On March 11th, they declared the coronavirus. You couldn't be more blasphemous. You walk with the world is what you do. Yeah, let no one take your crown. Remember, if you don't have a crown to set at the feet of the Messiah, you will not receive your inheritance. That's where you're headed. He's got the key to the wide gate. It's right there. That's why I put this on my body, so that I can help share the word, because Father tells me I just have a different way of doing it than some people do. I take the ministry and I take the celestial gospel and I put it on my body so that I can show people with a celestial eye. If they have an eye to see, they don't need two eyes. What's the difference between having one black eye and two black eyes? I don't know, about 3 to 6 inches. I don't know. 6 inches can make a big difference in life. Depends on what you're doing. Hand grenades? Well, anyways, you only need one eye and one ear. So so remember, there's no such thing as luck. So, horseshoes and hand grenades, huh? But anyways, 6 inches can make all the difference in the world. Ask your lady, she'll know what I'm talking about. So it could be the difference between a divorce and a. Never mind. I'll stop right there. You know what I'm talking about. No, I'm just kidding. All right. Okay. Anyways, moving on. So eye for an eye is Old Testament, brothers, sisters. He once written on tables of stone. This is the book of Colossians, and this Paul's writing. Read all of Paul's writings. There are the 13. If we didn't have Paul's writing, there wouldn't be the gospel then. We still have the gospel, but Paul's writings are the gospel. Paul's writings are Father's words through Paul, Matthew, Luke, Mark, Peter, all the apostles. The 13th apostle Paul, the 13th apostles, right? That's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to mirror these books. That's use your freaking blueprint to what you are supposed to be doing, and how hados. He says it, but that you use those literally their walk, when what happened to them, and they all died a martyr's death, brothers and sisters. So you better get it right. Get it tight. Tighten up them loosest boards in your ship. He's the steering the ship, right? You're supposed to be anchored in faith. It's going to get a lot worse from here, what Scripture says, but everybody's going to MAGA, great again, high priest of the Satan church. Aleister Crowley, the whole run you through this whole worship of the clock worship. It's not 2026. That's your thing that Father just keeps putting on my heart, that I've never seen Jim Brown talk, and I love Jim Brown. I do. But Jim Brown isn't a celestial magi. Jim Brown doesn't understand the clock. He does his 23.5 tilt reason for the season, and I told you, and I have every one of you in here with grace and truth. That is the only part of the ministry that I do. Would you please stay away from that teaching? It's not that is not in line with the gospel, okay? But that's okay. You're supposed to run everything. I say, he says, anybody says, and even everything, you should do it on your own through spiritual discernment, a spiritual calculator. Remember, he said it's supposed to be in the hados, in the same narrow way, not one above another. Remember, that's Old Testament. That doesn't add up. It's got to be exactly in the hados, in the same narrow way, to through that straight gate, correct? I think I might have to go, guys. Oh, their neighbor. Okay, guys, I gotta go. I probably have to go. I'll probably back on here in a minute. I won't be long. We're back. We got one person here. All right, give me a second. Oh, we're gonna go anywhere tonight. I don't gotta go over. Tomorrow. Mm. All right, I'm back. My apologies. I already told you that call was coming. Prognosco. Got foreknowledge of. So tomorrow I have to go pick up the excavator with the excavator operator. Get him, get down, get the excavator tomorrow and start working on this electrical line. So thank you, Father. We're moving forward. He's not stopping, is he? So. Oh, thank you, Father, for narrowing them all out of here. It's not everybody. I know there's still people in here. YouTube, you suck. I know Sabrina's still in here. The interweb doesn't recognize us. We're just blind to them. We don't exist. We're already dead to self. We die daily, so we're not really even here in the matrix. It's not the matrix. So we're not in that darkness. We already slipped the matrix. We're out here in the big boy world now. All the big boys and girls are at, right? Not trying to go right back to the matrix. So, never mind. Why don't you climb back in that hole you came out of, huh? Oh. Freaking rights, man. Oh no, the Matrix is coming. I apologize for that outburst. I didn't mean to say that. It didn't come out the way I meant it to be. Oh. But everybody just they're just caught in this whole movie, like a movie. It's Matrix is scriptural, and they made a movie out of it. They made a movie out of it. I don't know anybody who knows what the Matrix is. They're like, oh, I can't do the lean back thing. They don't even, like, it's an outer body experience, right? You know what I'm saying? It's like in the Lord's Prayer, thy kingdom come, right? We will still see the final trump, but that's with us now. That's everything that the scripture teaches us, is that we're here. He is with us right now. We're not waiting. We do get to enjoy these things right now. We get to have the word with us. Like, remember, a prophet, I'm not a prophet, could speak in the gospel language, and anybody could understand it and or overstand it in their dialect, in their tongue, in their language. They have their language, right? The Matrix. See? They got their old vocabulary out here. Their Matrix language is a language. Think about it. It's not. We know what the Matrix is. First to penetrate the Matrix, the firstborn of brother. That's what it talks about that in predestination, in Paul's writings in Romans 8 and 29. So they're living this outer body experience, waiting for something to come that's already here, and it's happening now. Matrix is a perfect example of that. Not knowing what they're talking about. The devil has mastered that word. People fall for it. Matrix is basically the complete opposite of what is going on. But everybody's, oh, that's what's to come, right? This is where we're headed. Yeah, right. Oh yeah, man. And because I'm in the Matrix, man, and I watched it, and my son was with me, and I don't remember watching it, but it's because I'm in the Matrix, man. Right? I never even seen it, but my son said I had. Oh, I must because I'm in the Matrix, right? More Mandela effect. Hallelujah. Just keep teaching their children that. I'm not your mom. Oh, I'm only your mom. I'm not your mother. Your mother is who corrects you with father's words, right? Just like I said, keep teaching that to them so they know that. So they know, hey, you can't go to me or your dad. See, if you teach this to your children, you can teach them that through the word. Watch this. This is so beautiful. It's just coming to my head. I mean, you can finish my thought that's already completed. Wow, Father makes me work incredible. Hope I can hold on to this thought. So no, I got it. So, but if you can teach your children that you're just their mom and not their mother, then you can say, hey, look, mother doesn't always has dad's back, right? No, mother always has father's back with his word. Whatever he says goes. You're not going to come to me and get a different answer, right? Right? Hallelujah. Ah, I love it. I love it. See, it's so beautiful. Then you can teach your kids the scripture right there. Your dad is not your father. If your dad doesn't love the word as much, you love father more than you or more than me. Look, here it says in Matthew 10:34-39. Take him to that. Okay. Sabrina, take him to Matthew 10:34-39, the backbone of this ministry, right? I constantly say that's what keeps this ministry predestination, but propped upright. You know, that's our, we can't love anything more than the word. That is our love, our first love. So, hallelujah. See, now they won't probably ever be confused. You didn't push any religion on them, and they could make that decision on their own because now they know they're on their own. You know what I'm saying? They're on their own. You could be taken from them. Imagine if God forbid that happened. You know what I'm saying? Father unyoked you from your children for some reason, but they still had that in their head to keep them centered, right? They knew that. Okay, I can't be with my mom, but I know Father is, he did this, and Father, I still have a mom, and I still, you know, they would admit it's not going to be perfect, but knowing that would probably, that separation would know, okay, hold on, I already have to survive on my own anyways. I might not have my mom and dad, but I will face Father. And I need to make sure that I mother myself. Remember, man's enemies be the one of his own household. So we need to correct ourselves. We're going to be the only one that sends ourselves to hell. Right? So, hallelujah. That word is so powerful. And if more people could do that with their children, that you could bring them to the word and not religion. See, this is your father. When you die, someday you're going to die. We all die. It's okay. It's not anything to worry about. You're going to get however Father is going to make you go the day it's already here written. It could be 100 years from now, and it might be tomorrow. We can't live in fear of that. We need to just live our life knowing that day is already written, and we don't get a choice in that. We can't take our life. Look, he said we have to endure to the end. So if it ever gets hard in your life, remember, we must endure to the end to be saved. If we want to be called out at the wedding, we have to go through the hard life. Just teaching them through the scripture is going to prepare them so much for life. It's the blueprint on how to parent a child. If you think about this, what we're talking about, this mother-father discussion, there's a age they don't need to hear this. It ain't gonna make any sense. They're just chasing balls and shadows. But once they figure that out, that age accountability turns on. This is what they need to be taught as a base. I'm not going to be there for you. You've got to remember one day we're going to part, and I want to be with you again, but you're going to have to do what you need to do. I can't keep coddling you, carrying you, and wiping your butt with baby wipes, and maybe someday you'll wipe my butt. You know what I'm saying? Oh wow, that's some strange pig Latin there. I never seen that, but this is a good base to sit down and teach them. Look, I'm just your mom. I'm just your mom. I'm not your mother. You need to go know that you will someday be a mother too, to others that are what I'm showing you. Please instill this to your. One day you'll have kids, and this is how we keep the family together. This is gonna be with you're gonna be with after you die. You got nieces and uncles and aunts and that, but that's not your family. So you could teach them that. That's not your family. Your family's gonna be with who you're gonna be with after you die. Your family's not related by blood. Anybody who's been part of a brotherhood in the military, been part of a gang, anything, that blood doesn't have anything to do with anything. Blood is thicker than water. My left, you know what, cheek or right cheek, two cheeks the same hole. That's what I was taught. I was raised. Blood is thicker than water. It's just the way I was raised. No, remember he turned that blood to water, and that water sprinkled on the mercy seat that fulfilled all again. All right, we'll leave that alone. But again, this is such a base to teach our children so that they know that I'm responsible for myself. See, that gives them the age of accountability. It really centers them on the age of accountability. You know, I could try to teach you to do the right thing, but you do the bad thing. I can't control you from doing that. You're still going to be accountable. You're still going to be accountable, just so you know. And I ain't going to get mad when you act up and act like a little ding dong because you want to be a little ho ho or whatever you're doing, because not because something I did. I told you what to do. You didn't listen to me. So you're on your own. You're going to have to pay for that punishment. And even if you get away with it in this lifetime, Father knows what the whole world. You do something behind the back, you get away with it between mom and dad or something, try to cause division in the household. Father knows when you're trying to play me against your dad, you ain't gonna play me. I have his back and he's got my back under this because we're equally yoked. Ha ha. And they're like, oh God, I gotta be an independent part of the system. Oh, I gotta get, and then they start dependent on uncles and nieces and aunts and thinking that that's their family. They're like, the family of the people who are in this, because they'll look around and see that's not probably in their families doing that, right? Not many people in their blood probably have that same. But then again, you're probably not going to Christmas parties, doing all of what everybody in the blood's doing. You're already the weirdo. You know what I'm saying? So, I just think it's such a beautiful thing. Thank you for having this discussion, Sister Sabrina, because, this is the base. If we could teach this would be your children would probably not want to sit and play video games all day and just buzz out into the world. They like, oh, well, I got to figure this out. One day my mom and dad aren't going to be here. And I want to go to be with the family, because they said the only way I'm going to get there to be with them is by doing what this says. Isn't that beautiful? I mean, like, hey, you want to be with me? Get it right, get it tight. You know what I'm saying? Tighten up the loose boards in your ship. They're going to come loose throughout your life. Boy, I tell you what, you sink the ship one pinhole leak. Keep baptized. Keep that book covered in blood. Have your garments washed in blood, white, without blemish, spotless when I return. So you've got to keep doing the maintenance over time. Baptism is a long process. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, imagine a child knowing that at a young age. Not this big Hollywood parents are going to take me. I'm going to get to one day. I'm going to get a big job and I'm going to be, or football star. Because some of them inspire, and they wouldn't inspire to probably do a lot. And none of that. They wouldn't look at that. They like, oh, like crap. I got to start growing some food and figure out how I'm going to take care of myself. I got to produce something here, make something of myself, not become an actor and famous. And they would probably have a totally different mindset. So I wasn't raised this way. So you can come into these truths, but why not give this to them and build the base, build them on the Petra, build them on Shiloh. He said, I am the rock. Don't give them the sinking sand that we're put into. It seems like in this modern day age, the children are just put into a sinking sand, no base. You know what I'm saying? We don't give the school is the base. That's what teaches them now. The iPad or the iPad at the school is teaching them too all day long. Hardly any that inner contact, of authority. It's just yeah. The good thing to too is try to really, if you could, Sabrina, too, that all of us should remember that it's the hardest times when things are just freaking gnarly and you are freaking like, oh my God, this is the worst. I mean, this is the worst Father it has ever done to me. You know what I mean? And you're feeling it. I mean, it's just so hard, right? I'm telling you, it's in those moments, really, a lot that defines us as a man or a woman. And however we respond, and this, you've heard me say this before, however we respond in that horrible situation can totally, it's like when Father puts something horrible in your life, it's like a crossroads. You can do horrible things and make that react bad and make the situation that much worse, right? Or you could try to find that stillness and go, oh, Father did that. I'm not mad. I'm mad at Father. Darn it, you did this to me again. And take that other path, you know what I'm saying, and react in a much more calm fashion. Not, and I didn't do it when I was young. I blew up, took the other path. Whatever. It's hard to have that stillness and that calmness and that knowing that when He puts us in a really difficult situation, if we look back, if we didn't respond well in that situation, it just made things worse. We just made our problems worse. So it's really when He puts us in those different times that are really difficult that shape our lives more than ever. Seems crazy, but if you look back, you've had some really tough times, and how you responded in those really tough times has really not everything, but has shaped you a lot of how you are and who you are and how you responded in those moments. They have stuck with you. Some of them are like a flashbulb, Polaroid type. You'll never forget that moment in time where you're at, and how you responded. And what do you think? Yep. So people need to remember that, look at your life, look back. I can't, maybe not, but when I look back at my life and I look, man, my life is the way it is right now because more of the times I didn't respond correctly. I'm going to be 100% forward with you. I don't, you know what I'm saying? I didn't respond properly. There were a lot of times I did. I look back sometimes, some horrible times. I really did a good job. Father made me do it, but then sometimes I didn't have that reservation. I didn't have that, I just didn't have it. I responded poorly. My life is exactly the way it is today. And it's made me who I am. And I've tried to learn from that. I try to respond that way. I when I was young, raising Elijah, I didn't have the reserve. I was in my 30s, or was I 26 when I had Elijah? But, it was 20s and 30s. I didn't have that stillness that I have now with Father. I mean, it was still trying to. I knew Father created all things, everything it ever was, ever will be, but I didn't get it. I mean, it didn't stick like it does today to me. So, yeah, that's why I look back. I did good in some places. I did horribly. Dang. I could have responded a lot better there, didn't I? But that's okay. It shapes us and makes us who we are. That's here we are. If you look at it, would you change it? Yeah, but look at it. It made you who you are today. If you think about it, even the ones who didn't respond well, it shaped you who you are. The good and the bad. See how much that shapes you? It's like how you react in that really hard time. Not so much the good times. Why don't the good times shape us like that? Not that we can't have good times, but remember, easy times breed weak men or weak women, right? Hard times bring strong men or strong women. So when we're put under adversity, a bird cannot achieve lift without that resistance, right? A little walk of the wheel, or was that Bob Barker and the Come On Down? The Price is Right. The Scottish or whatever, the yodeler going up the hill. Every step is just grinding. It hurts, but he lifts you. It's when you let it at your back and you forget and things get easy in life. I'm not saying that you can't have a good time, but man, you get that wind at your back, you got that gravity or whatever you want to call it, your static electricity, right? And you're just, it seems when life gets easy, man, I hate life when it's easy because I know something big is about ready to knock me off my, it starts getting easy. Oh, here it comes. Oh, here it comes again. I don't like that, downhill. This feels like I said, a little pain would be nice. No pain would be scaring the living crap out of me. Too easy, you know. Yeah, I'm definitely not easy. I'm a very complicated puzzle. I don't know how many pieces of this puzzle is, but I know there might be some pieces in there that don't fit. I apologize. I'm not a perfect puzzle pitcher or whatever, so there's a lot missing. But I'm trying. You know, like I said, well, a dose, it's got to fit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Sometimes you got to lose everything to appreciate what you have. Kind of the appreciate. You can't always get what you want, but you find out sometimes you get what you need. Yeah. Sometimes you're like, dang, I got it so good, boy. Why? How did I get myself here? I do that. I pull myself so many times in life. I get my life near almost perfect, everywhere I want it. Like, look what happened with my son. I was everything. I was so close to. I was about a year away from having out of here, ministry paid off, everything. I would have money, a vehicle, ministry, everything. But nope, bam, that father did it that time. But I didn't have to help my son, but I wouldn't change that. But there are times I get everything set in my life, and I think I was like, I do this to myself because I need a challenge. And I don't know why I do that to myself. I don't know if you have a habit of doing that. And I don't do it because of drug addiction. I don't do drugs. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people wreck their life so they go back to using because I've seen that with users. I don't mean to go there, but it is what it is. I don't care what people have done in their past, but it sucks to see people build up their house and then wreck it because they want to go back to doing that thing because they're a bad person and then they feel good about that again and they can do that. Have you ever seen that with people who have an addiction problem, brothers, sisters? They build up their house of cards, right? They get it. They're doing pretty good again, but then they, bam, knock the house down on the cards so they can feel like they're a piece of crap so they can use again and then pull themselves back in that cycle. I hate to see them do that. It's because like they start doing good and everybody wants to help and they get them out and then bam, and not all, but then they'll pull that rug out from beneath their own feet to be, oh, bad, pity me. And I don't mean to go there. Pity me. Look at me again. I'm a horrible, terrible person. They will throw everything away. The possessions they'll throw in the trash. They'll walk away from everything just to use again. Going right back to that pull the rug pull because they like I said, I don't know if they need a challenge. I know it's the addiction, brothers, sisters. It's not them necessarily. So, but I find that I've done that in life. I get myself set up and I'll rug pull myself. I'll just pull it out from underneath myself. Like, no, I guess I need a challenge. I'm going to knock over this house of cards and start all over again. So if not family, does it to you, friends do it to you, everybody, you get too involved and then bam. Yep. 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 It's hard. So you know exactly what I'm talking about, Sabrina. You know what I'm saying? Friends do it, family does it. It's hard to not be around that and not see what I'm talking about. If you don't find it with the, um, addiction, you'll find that people just do it in their life. Some people don't. They just keep moving on, moving on. But some of us, boy, we seem to get the whole thing set up and get it going, and then bam, we need to just drop down again in life just to, you know, again, it's almost like to appreciate the things we've got. Like, man, I have it too good, and now I want to start all over again and build it back up. I need the challenge, you know. So I'm over it. Remember, I don't care about the physical. The physical is boring the living piss out of me. I'd rather have experience. So, and that's why I'm working on what I'm doing. I don't care about no Hollywood, no television, no actors, no politics, no nothing. I don't care about none of that. That didn't have nothing to do with nothing. And yet I'm aware of all of it that's going on. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, some people love that. It's the dopamine dump. You know what I'm saying? No, that's the same thing, right? Ryan, that we're talking about is that it's that up and down. It's that dopamine dump. It's that whoop, 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 whoop. It is. You know what I'm saying? Yep, there you go. Stay rooted in faith, and you can overcome these things. It's tough, man. Like I say, we get to where we're. Oh my goodness, my back. Oh, but some people thrive on that. You know what I'm saying? They thrive on that. You know, just a challenge. You got to make it through life, Can't always go straight up. So you got to find that steady medium. That's why I keep telling you it's a marathon, brothers, sisters. We don't know what our end date is, so to speak, right? So in a marathon, you can't come out too fast, or you'll teeter out. You'd be a two pump chump or whatever. You're quick to fall out. So in a race, you have to pace yourself. You have to look around and kind of size up the competition. I don't know if you ever actually run a long distance. There's, and you use that as your witnesses. Use scripture and that. What I'm saying, to size up what's going on. Man, I don't want to come out the gate too hard, and we do that. That's why gluttony, is a sin. Too much, or those who don't work don't eat. Too little. We got to find that happy medium. It's hard to do. It's difficult, especially in the world we live in, when they push extremism on us like crazy now. It is. I come on, guys. You remember the world wasn't all just everything to extreme. Nothing. There's difference between being different and extreme. You know what I'm saying? It's okay to be different. There's nothing wrong with being different and having your own flair. And well, that's a little odd, but that's their own. That's okay. But going too far and overboard, and it's like, it's not marking my body to have some tattoos, and I have a sleeve, but I teach with this. Now if I'm gonna start putting nose things, become a lizard and getting all the, that's too much. That's going way overboard. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes I have that mentality. I'm not addicted personality, but boy, I sure like to put things to the extreme. It's hard for me to do a little bit of something. It is. It's hard for me just to do a little bit. I have to do it all. You know what I'm saying? Full bore. Go big or go home. Kind of. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's just, it just who is. I just, it's the way I am. I couldn't change it if I tried. So, well, it's like I want to master one thing at a time. I might do many things, but I want to become so that's how I get myself to slow down. Because if I don't, I try to figure everything out and try to master everything. I'd say. So, sucks that people thrive in these environments. You know what I'm saying? Couples do that a lot, like Ryan was saying, that if you could have a couple that likes to argue a lot. I've seen couples that do that, but it's that dopamine dump. I don't mean to mean it's not all about the makeup sex, but I'm just saying sometimes you never reach the makeup sex because you're so pissed off for so long or whatever. But anyways, there's that up and down. They want that challenge. They need to always be challenged, I guess. They don't. There's nothing wrong with that as far as to keep it. I think there's better ways to keep a spark, alive in your relationship with Father, than being to the, but some people don't even realize they're doing it. The smallest little arguments can turn into the biggest things, and then it cycles itself out. They do it again, and it just, most time they just talk to each other about it from the beginning. Somebody's not communicating very well properly in the beginning is what I find. A lot of the base of a lot of problems in relationships is just bad communication. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. That high and low, right? She just wanted it was either everything was super calm, you know what I'm saying, and normal, or she would go extreme violence, or just shut up and would not let you in at all in her life. It's like cut you off, you know what I'm saying? Like you couldn't fix it. Want it fixed, but wouldn't let you fix it, the extreme. Like, what? How do I fix anything? You're way up here or way down here. We need to have a meeting of the minds. You know what I'm saying? I got you. I can see what you're saying. I mean, guys do the same thing. And it's that same thing that I'm talking about, is when we get ourselves into that moment of intensity, how do we react? How do we react when we get into that extreme? How do we react? Do we continue to feed that dopamine dump until we can ride that for a long cycle, brothers, sisters? You can be upset at somebody a long time, constantly thinking about that. That's dumping that negative vibe and that dopamine dumper until you can finally get your body to. People thrive on that stuff, man. They don't even, some people, like I said, it's hard to fathom, but I think there are people who do that, don't even realize they're doing it to that extreme. They just need that dump. they'll know they can probably get it back down, but they, you know, maybe not. I don't know. I've seen couples that do that a lot. Um, even people have friendships will do that to each other. You know what I'm saying? Uh, oh well, whatever. That's what I'm saying. We've all done it. That's what I'm trying to tell you guys. It's so crazy how we forget that we just can't always act just 100% properly in the moment. But if we really set ourselves and we would study more and realize it's Father who's challenging us. Why is this person acting this way that they are to me? Father, why are you doing this to me? That's my answer to everything. Oh, that can't be the answer to everything, Tracy. Well, it is for me. So you do you, and I'll do me. I wasn't always like that, but now that's what I think. When this person does that, I'm like, Father, why did you make them do that to me? I don't think of that person right out the gate. I don't get mad at them. I'll more get mad at myself now. And I'm a clam up type of person. I don't normally act like that. I'm the other extreme now. I used to be that way, or I could fix everything now. I want it all. No, I'll go walk away. And if it's that damn important, I'll come back and we'll talk about it later. Because if it's that damn important, you'll remember it too. And if you don't remember it, then it's not that damn important. We'll just go on. Then it's not that really that important to not walk away from something, right? Oh no, I used to be Mr. Fix everything right there in the moment. I don't do that anymore. Now I just know Father's doing it. Father, why did you make that person do that to me? God damn it, Father, why? Why did you do that to me? I don't even get mad at the person, you know what I'm saying? It's Father doing it. That's a better life that I live now. It is. It might sound like I'm catecoding it with Father, but I'm not. It tend to be much better responding in horrible situations. I don't mean to go there, guys, but remember the whole SWAT raid? Remember the SWAT raid? I think I handled myself very calmly in that situation. I know I raised my voice so they can hear me out there. They're sitting there in armored vehicles. I know they couldn't just hear me through the walls. I couldn't just talk to them normal. They had to hear me. But that's what I'm saying. In a really intense situation, if you watch the SWAT raid, it was hard to keep my bearing like that. My mind wanted to, and they knew that, you know, just respond completely different. But he kept me centered. He kept me real centered. I knew it was going to be extreme. I knew it was going to get real extreme, super extreme. And like I told my son, don't. That's why I told him, the thief on the cross, son. If you move, they will shoot you dead, son. They do not care. They're mad at your dad, and they're taking that on you. You've got to stay calm in the moment. When it gets, they're coming tonight, son. This is the night. I told him before they came, and so I'm glad that he did. He's so impressed. I was so impressed by my son. Dad, I'm not going to prison. I'm not going to prison, Dad. Elijah, remember we talked about the thief on the cross. Okay, I love you, Dad. I love you too, son. I'm going out, coming out with my hands in the air, coming out peacefully. He came out the door peacefully. He still shot him anyways, but he responded so well. You know what I'm saying? He just absolutely stayed calm. It's like me. It was so hard to shut the door behind me after getting hit in the face, hearing him shot, and to shut the door again and stay calm and just try to get them to look at the evidence. And I don't even mean to go there right now, guys. And I am. Remember, none of that ever amounted to anything. They never looked at the evidence. They never looked at any of that. They never looked at any of it. Not even at my trial. None of that ever mattered. None of Elijah's hours has ever been brought up one single time as the 180 hours that I griped about for 257 hours. And then whatever. Everything I ever did never amounted to any of it. Look at what he did to me. It totally backfired. Elijah may be gone. Adriana may be gone. I so sometimes want to curl up a ball, brothers and sisters, and disappear. I do. I hate this life. It's so extreme. Here I say I can't be extreme, and Father is so stinking extreme with me. It is. It's ridiculous to what he did to me, to have Elijah come see he was going to move on the property next to me, to have him this close to me, to never see him again and never even hear a stitch of what's going on in his life right now. I'm glad I don't get upset like that and start scheming and doing things and, oh, I'm going to get back at somebody, or I know who did it, or no, Father did it. Father did it. So as a whole, I know I've had some ups and downs in the moment. When I look at it, I think I'm doing pretty good. Now I know that my son is not even, I don't know anything about my son, and nobody will even, nothing. There's just nothing. It's like I am freaking dead already. That's the only thing I think of too, guys. Either I truly am dead, which is I'm okay with. I don't care about being dead. I don't die like that, so I'm not worried about it. But because it just doesn't make sense. How could I have done everything I did and everything I did ever backfired in my face? And I am now still on probation to the same people that literally ate my son, the den of wolves that ate him. They threw me right, Father threw me right in the den of wolves. And if I make one wrong move in here, they eat me. One wrong move. The same den of wolves that ate my son and daughter, Father threw me right back into those den of wolves. And I make one wrong move, brothers and sisters, I go straight to jail. One wrong move. I'm on a felony probation, so I can't do anything. I have to cross every I and dot every T, or I go straight back to jail again. Just for trying to stand up for my son, because I used my voice. Remember, not violence. Wasn't violent to anybody. Made that very clear. There would be no violence being used here. I made enough evidence, but nobody even looked at the evidence. So just trying to do the best I can. So I'm trying to be an example of what it's like to be calm. Father beats me every day. Is torture. It's mental. It's mental menacing me. I feel like Father menaces my mind. Like I said, try to imagine knowing that Elijah's alive somewhere, maybe. Going, one day my dad's going to come. He's never going to forgive up on me. I know he won't forgive up. He will not give up on me. Forgive up. He will not give up on me. He's going to come one day, and he's hanging by a string. And here I am sitting on freaking YouTube. But, what do? Every time I pushed, I just made it worse. The situation worse and worse and worse. So this is a very complicated life Father has me, and I tell you that. I'm glad I have the word, because I don't have anything else other than that. I don't. There's just nothing in this world for me anymore. I don't see that light at the end of the tunnel. The only light I see is Father in this ministry. I don't serve a purpose on this rock other than this ministry. I'm over it. I don't need anything here. I already had a child, had a wife, had some fame, had plenty of money, had all that. I'd done everything I needed to do, other than keep serving the word and endure to the end and until it's just going to get harder and harder. I'm glad I know the word. Remember, narrow. It's going to get harder and 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 harder until I get to the straight gate. That's what the word says. I know what the word says. So see, I know what is coming. I don't expect anything. That's how Father works, just so you know. That's how you know that you are one of the elect. If your life's not getting harder and 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 harder, then you're not in the narrow way. You're in the broad way, because you're not getting narrowed, and you're gonna eventually go to hell. Well, remember, you're already there, but so. Sure, you want all the answers. You know the thing that breaks me too, Ziggy, in a similar mindset? Knowing that any moment Father could change anything. Anything. I don't care what it is. There is nothing through the word, all things are possible. Shoot, somebody could appear next to me like some magician on it, and there's no such thing as magic. I mean, literally, right? Like what he's doing to you, he could change any of it at any moment. That's what's so hard about me with Father. It's like he wants this suffering for you. You know what I mean? And he could change any of it, all of it, any time, at any moment, at any, you know what I'm saying? Like, why are you doing this, Father? You have the ability to make, I don't mean to go there. Like, I'll use this as an example. Okay, Ziggy, just as an example of one thing. I have a very set apart life, and I'm sure I'm not the only one that feels the way I do. I don't have to be with somebody to be happy. I'm happy alone. I'm happy when I have somebody. They don't complete me, right? They don't. They add to me. They don't complete me. I'm already complete. You know what I'm saying? You add to who I am. Some people are like, oh, you complete me. But if you're one of these people that's like me, like Father right now, how come nobody's come out here to the ministry in 10 years? I've tried thousands of times, thousands of hours now to just get one person to come out here and stick. and not one person has come. Not and stuck here, part of the ministry. Not one person in 10 years. Father has control of that. If Father wanted somebody, somebody would be here. Correct? No, I like being. I like that. I mean, I enjoy being single. I don't need it. It just adds to me. It's cool to think that somebody can. That woman was made for men. They were helpmate to help each other. We help each other. We're not this, but you've got to be complete when you meet somebody so they can add to you who you are. You're like, you're so awesome. But if you go, I'm not going to die. This ain't Bruno Mars. Every day when you leave, it's going to rain, rain, rain. I can't make it. You're my sunshine, Dude, you are my sunshine, but you know what? You make my days even brighter than they already were. Oh my God, it's so dark without you. Who wants to be with somebody like that? I don't mean to go there. Why do you want to be with somebody like a puppy dog that's just like, you got to feed me. You got to wipe my butt. I'm going to poop in the house. You got to feed me, you know? Yeah, I was a single parent for a long time too. So I didn't want to bring people in my life, weird, just in and out of my life like that. So that kept me, being single was not, like, I don't want to bounce around. And I'd had some relationships, but I didn't introduce my son. Hi, puppy that I love. So yeah, again, most people don't do that though. They don't, when they meet somebody, it's all, oh, you're my everything, and I did that when I was young, guys, too. You know what I'm saying? But I think again, if we look at this, now that people don't yoke with each other like that. What are you breathing so hard for? There's water right down there if you get thirsty. There's your favorite water bowl. Oh, I love this boy. So, but okay, but then there's those times, where you look at it and you go, I don't mean to go there, because you just waller in your own piss, guys, because we get weak, okay? Like, for example, like, God, why won't you let me have anybody in my life? Am I that bad of a man? I mean, I don't, whatever, but it's like, I own land, I have a house, I work for what I have, this all made honest, I don't have to anything. All this stuff, and then there's some guy in the streets, dirty, stinking, look like the damn filth, and he got a lady laying next to him on a piece of cardboard, and she loves the living piss out of him, support him, and I can't even find somebody to come out here and grow some food with me, some vegetables. Oh, you just want me to be the trophy husband, can't be missing, no teeth, no hair, perfect body, six-pack, go to work, make $100 million, and you can just show me off like a trophy, right? No, not all people are like, but it's like, what the hell? We go from having some, why can't I have anybody? You know what I'm saying? Right? And then your mind works on you. Well, I'm so old, I'm never going to see that 50-year anniversary. Some people have been together 50 years, and I can't even have a first year with anybody, let alone day one, and your mind gets to you like that. Don't let that stuff bother you, sisters. I have had it. I've separated myself for 6 months, didn't talk to nobody. I didn't want to do nothing in this world. I hated this world. All I did was paid my bills. You know what I'm saying? So, we get there, brothers sisters. We think, God, why are you doing this to me? You could change this if you wanted it to. Why are you beating me like this? This is doing that. Why did you make this person do it to me? Well, hopefully you can say that. Why is this happening, Father? Oh, this is happening to me because maybe I made a mistake, but this is what you want for me. Or maybe I didn't make any mistakes, and this is what you want for me. And you can find that a little bit more settled on how to respond next time when he puts something super challenging. You come to that fork in the road. All right, how am I going to respond here? I can respond real horribly, and this thing could get a lot worse. Or I can respond in a little bit more compassion, let Father fight my battles for me, and just try to keep myself settled and know that it's going to be difficult. It's going to suck and I'm going to hate it. But if Father knows what he's doing, he doesn't make a mistake. There must be something he's doing here, and I may never know. There are so many things, like with my son, I may never know. Might have to wait until after I die to get the answer. Are there things like that in your life that right now that are happening that you may never know? You just have to put it like faith, Daniel, thrown into a den of lions or whatever, and just know that you're going to come out unscathed somehow, some way. And it might not even be in this lifetime that it will be at the end. You know what I'm saying? So careful when we get in the weak, brothers, sisters, in moment of weakness. I do that sometimes. Oh, Father, no, I don't do it very often because I've done it for more than a decade now. I only pray for Father's will. I don't pray for my will. I haven't done that for more than, it's been longer than that. I'm just giving you, and there might be these brief moments of, Father, oh my God, Father, why can't you just, oh, Father, I apologize. Nope, I don't want that. I don't want that. I want your will. So I only want Father's will in my life. I don't want anything else in my life but his will. You know what I'm saying? I don't even want my life. I hate being alive. Every moment is torture and every moment is a near, I mean, it's menacing. My mind is menaced every day, but I know that Father has my back and he's not made a mistake. So it's that fine line, you know, that we got to make sure we let Father fight our battles for us, especially when they're extreme things like that. You'll be able to respond better, And I think if couples did that as a couple too, they wouldn't freak out on each other that much as they do over bills and you know it just things would be like a lot more centered. Like I was talking with Sabrina, if we could just talk to our children more, be upfront with them, let them know what's going on. And really, I think of more of anything that I look at what's going on in society as a whole, we've just lost touch with what we're here to do. What are we here as a species to do? We're not here to be grow riches and get a big job and be famous, have a house. That's not what we're here to do. Father didn't put us here to build riches. He put us here to share the agape and show people to the narrow way. And that's not going to be many. So we know that. So that's what, if you were chosen, many are called, but few are chosen. Okay. Oligas, you're going to do what Father tells you to do. So he keeps calling out to my heart here again, before supping with him. If people aren't food motivated on this ministry, you need to thin them out of here. I won't condemn them, but I just probably not going to even respond to it anymore. What are we doing as a species? If everybody was growing food right now, do you think we'd really even have going? Just hear me out. If most of us were growing food right now, would the world be as it is right now? And how much different do you think the world would be if everybody was? So you're telling me, Pastor Revelation, you're sitting here telling me that growing food could change the world? You tell me. You tell me. If more than half, 3/4 of the world was growing food right now, what would this world be like? This is where we've lost our humanity, Russ. This is where we've lost our way. This is what Father has pointed out to me. He keeps telling me this is where I want you to just keep and I'm already there. I am a food focused freaking fanatic. I have more food than all 5 of you in this room combined. I don't care how much food you have. I have a lot more than all of you combined. But that's okay. I've been doing it for decades. So it's not like, I've had 5 freeze dryers. I've canned, I've pressure canned, I've dried, I've done pickled, I've done, fermentation. There's all different, many ways to preserve food. Food preservation is, it's a skill set. It's a mindset. A squirrel does not need to be told up to put up nuts and it got a brain this big. Chipmunk, right? A bird got the same size pea brain to be told to fly south for the winter. Some of us have instincts. So Father keeps telling me, just with what Ziggy said, so you grow food with your kids, or dude, I don't know what the hell you're doing. You're messing up bad. Your focus should be, how do I get food in these children's mouth, not from a grocery store? I never want to give my children any of this poison ever again. I don't care what sacrifice I have to make to do that. If I have to strip everything back, sell everything I own, and buy a little piece of land, like Pastor's saying, and get a tent, get some chickens and a vegetable garden, and start from scratch with some solar panels, at least I'm not paying the system anymore, and I'm not dependent on the system. I don't care. Just shut the Strait of Hormuz down. Do whatever. Blot the sun out. I already have put food up for, in stores. I already have. If you're not food motivated, I don't know what's wrong with people. I think that's what's wrong with people. You're not food motivated. You're motivated by going to work. You're motivated by having a big house and having your family think that you're being successful, or people see you and now the whole world is, who cares what the world thinks about you? You're not to be loved by this world, brothers and sisters. This is where we lost our way. I think that's what Father has shown me in this, harshly. He's putting this at me. Talk about this more. Tell people to talk about this, or tell them to kick rocks. Tell them don't come back to this ministry. Don't want you here. And if you're not going to grow your own food, I don't want you here. I don't want you here. You know what I'm saying? So there are things that you can do about this. I already told you. Remember, I already told you, Ziggy, how do you take care of your insulin? First, you curb it with your diet. You could fix that issue. I know you could with diet. It's because how you eat. You could reset almost any issue in your body. Theory, so I don't get a medical strike again with fasting. You could get rid of that with fasting. That could go away. I did. My body was shutting down, Ziggy. My body was shutting down. I was not, literally, that's what the doctor said. You should be going life flighted out of here. You shouldn't be driving like this. Your body is not producing insulin anymore. And I would do the extreme when I would go way spike up here and then crash, come, hypoglycemia, I just curved it with my diet. It's the way you're eating. It's the way you ate in the past. But for now, Chase Medical, remember, there's no excuses that you shouldn't have a freaking grip load of extra insulin. Chase Medical, call them. They'll do all the insulin that you can handle. You'll never have to worry about insulin ever again. I hate that people have that worry. Inhalers. Imagine if you didn't have an inhaler, how, you could use mullein instead of a haler. You can use mullein instead. There's a lot of natural homeopathic remedies that you can use as well. So please look into that, okay? So unless you're growing food, you're lost, man. You are sitting there in a city just feeding the beast, not doing nothing. You're not producing any food. You're really not doing much of anything. Oh, what? You got a car and a house and a... What? You couldn't even go in the woods and feed yourself. You ain't worth a crap is what you are. That's called righteous judgment. I don't care about your city job or whatever. That all could be taken from you. Could you walk away from everything you own? Go into the woods without hurting somebody? See, that's how we should all have that mentality. So does anybody hearing me in this chat room, or am I just speaking to myself in here? If everybody was growing food, half the people were growing food, how much world would this different world be right now? That is my question. If half of us were growing food all around the world, more than that, but at least how much different would the world be? Would it be the world that it is today? Would they be feeding us this food at the grocery stores that's been genetically modified, sprayed with glyphosate, grown in fluoridated, chlorinated water? If we were all growing organic food on our own, probably wouldn't even have grocery stores, brother, sister. It'd be little convenience stores, you know what I'm saying? Maybe a little mom and pop store for some gadgets and widgets or whatever, but probably wouldn't even be grocery stores, would there? Not many. Now they're at every town. There's just keep going to the drive-throughs, the food, you know what I'm saying? I got it. Figured out what's wrong with society. We don't grow anymore. Really, seriously, brothers, sisters, what difference would the society be like if 60% of the populace was growing food right now? It would be a completely different world, would it? We wouldn't be doing half of the things we are doing right now. I bet you we wouldn't have this extremism like we have right now. We'd be a lot more centered and feet, putting our feet in the dirt, our hands in the dirt, going back to, source, the word created the dirt, we're not supposed to live the dirt, but when we go back to, right, we get grounded. We wouldn't be wanting to We wouldn't want that dopamine dump all the time, the sugar rush and all this. We could go fishing and have an extreme day, but we probably wouldn't crave that all the time like we do. A lot of this is because of our diet. They do this with our diet, with sugars. Dopamine dump, extremism. Crash, up, down, up, down. You know what I'm saying? I've had good luck with melons, but yeah, see, sunflower, this is what I'm talking about. So sunflowers have an issue growing pumpkins, right? I can't seem to grow melons. We got that figured out. If two of us would just grow food. Hey, sunflower, would you mind trading me some of your melons? I got great pumpkins. Oh yeah, let's do that. Maybe we can figure out what's going on. Oh, let me figure out what's going on with your soil, man. Let me look at what you're doing. Oh, this is what I'm doing. Oh, well, dang, I didn't do that. Yeah, I don't even need you next year. Oh, come on, man. I like your pumpkins. You know, you got the best freaking, honeydew melons. I've never had them like this. What do you, that's how we should be doing these. This is what we should be talking about all the time. Food all the time. Man, I just got in I just butchered. Right. And then we would bring people together, trading, bartering, filling the gaps. That's how you do it. And then see, you could get to where you don't need money. This is what I figured out, guys. Of course you have to have money. It takes money to make money. Okay. It's very important to have a little bit of money. I'm not going to say you can start from the ground up too. I've done it with nothing over and over again. It's always easier to start when you have something. But you know what I'm saying? If we were all growing food, we would spend a lot of our time probably working now and spending now in America. Our disposable income is not spent like in Pakistan. Half their income is spent on food. Half. We have a lot of disposable income in America to spend on other things, obviously. So as things get expensive, you will see more people focus on, look, this is my first $3,000 egg. Because they realize that even it's more expensive, that there's better quality, they're growing at home, and they've cut off that chain, that supply chain. They can create a whole lot of other different sources from just hatching an egg to growing hatchlings, pullets, keeping it themselves, meat, bird. It's a source. It's a super food, the egg itself, and it is a source of income. You could get your income to where you don't have any zero cost of living. I mean, near zero, or you're making so much abundance that you really are starting to save. And then you just keep socking it back into your homestead, your farm, and you just keep creating more and more abundance. People are hanging on by a thread and you're thriving. Like me and Sunflower, we're trading tomatoes. I raise goats and she's doing rabbits. I said, oh, hey, Sunflower, you could get 10 rabbits and make as much as a whole Angus cow, three does and $7. She got more rabbits, know what to do. I'm like, oh, I'm not doing meat birds yet, but hey, I see Sunflower's doing rabbits, and actually I got some of those really expensive $1,000 chickens. Yes, they got $1,000 chickens. When you raise $1,000 dogs, right? You get $1,000 puppies. You raise $50 dog, well, $300 dogs. You get $50. I've got this really high breed that she wants. I'm going to trade her, right, for food. Like, hey, I'll trade you this bird for 100 rabbits. 100 rabbits for her is nothing. If she's processing them, she's got 2 kids. She's got her husband. They know how to process rabbits like this. You know what I'm saying? Okay, guys, and another thing you can do. This is something, guys, people say they can't do this. You could get rabbits in an apartment. Don't listen to anybody's excuses on why they can't do this. Even if you weren't out of the city yet, you can raise quail. They don't make enough noise to get a noise complaint. Quail eggs, oh my God, you can raise a bunch of quail. Quail eggs, eat the quail. They're not as, quail are amazing. If you know how to prepare a quail, they're wonderful. Quail eggs, hatchlings, sell the quail. I mean, right there, you're starting to create a source of protein. Now you've taken over your source. You know, ducks on the outside, right? There are some really silent ducks. I don't recommend ducks for beginning people. They're not that advanced, but like I said, there's ways to create abundance to where you don't have, like, buy that and put that in your sock drawer. Buy the wind turbine, that's about as big as a vacuum box. Stick that in your closet, right? That'll go in a small up above on the shelf. You could start doing, you know what I'm saying? Duck is, yeah, you could get Muscovy, and that's like red meat. It literally is. They make burger out of it, and people would not know the difference between, seriously. But these are ways you can produce your own power. You have a battery, a charge controller, but you know, you invested in your system. I'm putting power on this property, and I will probably never ever once plug in a battery to charge a battery or a phone in that other house. Not as a whole. I might if I'm live streaming or something, but I'll charge everything I possibly can off solar. I'm going to put solar on that house, on the new house too. You know what I'm saying? So it will have solar outlets in there. It'll have the main outlets, but I won't be plugging anything in if I've got solar. Why? Why would I plug into the grid if I've got off the grid? See, I have been able to be successful enough now that I can probably buy myself all back on and off the grid and have best of both worlds. Give unto Caesar what is to Caesar, and give unto the Lord what is to the Lord. This is what he wants us to do. He doesn't want us. This doesn't kill Iranian children with tax dollars. You know what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? This is how this works, bro. This is, even if you're an apartment, you can start getting yourself out of the system with a water filter. See that? Now you're independent. Now you can walk and find the back of a toilet. I know that the back of a toilet's clean, right? Water running down in the city, down the side of this will clean it. Ponds, you know, lakes, this water filter, and you don't need the big box. You could stick this in your pocket or your pouch. If you got a lady, you got a pouch that the guys don't have, and you can keep that from the guys. Nope, I don't have nothing. Wait till he gets dehydrated and then take all his stuff. Oh, you sound like a Brewster. No, don't take his stuff. But anyway, hey, lady's got a special pouch, secret pouch. So you could hide that. And then that's 100,000 gallons of water. You'll never get another water filter in your lifetime. See, this is your first step out of this. Is what I was telling. I can't get out of the system. Yes, you can. That's your first step out of the system right there. That's how you make your first step. I don't know how to do it, Pastor. I don't know. Yes, you can. You start by buying a water filter. That is your first step out of the system. And you could buy the charge controller. Buy that. Now you can set this up anywhere, brothers and sisters. You could go out to the woods and set this up. You could have power in the middle of the woods. You go set this stuff. It's all portable. You know what I'm saying? All this is pretty much portable. I just have it screwed to the wall, but this could be taken with you anywhere, and you could set this up at any location. The sun's going to always be shining, and the wind's always going to be blowing, one or the other, it seems like. Even on cloudy days, they have good enough, you know, there's ways to get your costs down to nothing. You seem to think you need to chase a big mortgage because you want to live next to a bunch of people in a big house on a little piece of land. Why would you go? My neighbor is 5 miles over this way, probably a mile and a half that way. I don't have neighbors. I go out, lay outside naked. Nobody's going to see me. Not that I would do that. I'm just saying. You know, you go pee off your porch, you're going to get a lewd and, you know, indecent exposure ticket, and you're going to get a charge for sexual assault on your record just because you couldn't hold your bladder for a minute. Somebody was in the bathroom and you only got one bathroom, but you decided to go outside and cop a squat. Somebody seen you in the bushes. Now you got sexual charges against you. Oh yeah, your city's so awesome. Keep doing your convenience. And you get SWAT rated because you're over there banging the wife. She's screaming no. She really means yes. And somebody thought they saw a gun. Now you're getting SWAT rated. Yeah, stay in your big cities, you idiots. Places where they won't even let you grow a garden in your front lawn. No, you can't grow. Someplace won't even let you grow it in your backyard. You have to grow it at some community center. That's okay too, but a lot of them don't even have that. All these HUD housing, you know, whatever division, whatever. So there are ways to get out of the system, brothers and sisters. You can do this. Like I said, a family living on a small plot of land could take 1 kid, 2 kids, 3 kids, 5 adults. Could get 12 chickens in a small garden, sustain life, brothers and sisters. Okay, you don't have red meat, get some Muscovy ducks. They're red meat, get a small lamb. A goat meat is over the top, especially if you raise it yourself. It's outstanding. It's a red meat. You know, choose the cluds, but it is a meat that we can eat. You can eat whatever you want. I'm just saying, it's good meat. I like boar goat better than beef. If I raised it properly, I like it better than beef. It has almost an identical flavor, but there's just something a little bit there. I love lamb, leg of lamb. Oh my gosh. See, now you have a animal that you can actually slaughter when you don't have a cow's worth. You can't raise a cow. Where are you going to put all that cow? Where are you going to store all that cow? Who's going to butcher it, right? You could just take a small portion of meat and butcher that out by having goats or sheep. You still have red meat, but you don't have it in a big, remember, 10 rabbits, 3 does, and $7 will make as much as a whole cow's worth of meat. 1 bucket of lard, 10 rabbits, some chickens, and a garden, small garden, brother, sister. Your food bill is taken care of. You don't go to the store anymore. You trade with Sunflower. You trade with Trek because Trek's got lemon cucumbers. What the hell are those? I want to try one of those. Can I trade you for some? I've got some squash growing out here, some butternut squash. Do you have any butternut squash? No. All right. You like squash? Let me try it. I don't like it. Literally try a dish. Why don't you come over? We'll have a barbecue or something, and you can bring over some of those, and I'll bring over. We've got some of the lamb out here. We'll cook that up on the barbecue. We got an outdoor kitchen out here. We've got a pizza oven, a flat grill. We'll make some leg of lamb pizza or something. We'll put some of these fresh vegetables on our pizza. We make our own goat's milk, and we make our own cheeses, and we make our own breads. There's ways to do this, brothers and sisters, but nobody's doing this. That is why you're losing. That's why you're going round and round on a rat race. No wonder why you never win in this rat race. You never get ahead, do you? Just can't seem to get ahead because you don't have any independence. Yeah, farming is an awesome lifestyle. It's not easy, but it's a consistent. I'm going to wake up tomorrow. My chickens are going to need fed whether I want to feed them or not. My animals are going to need fed. There's going to be fed sports that blow down out here. It just happens. You have to do things. You can't just, I'm taking a day off. If you want to, you surely can. The chickens can go a whole day without eating. It's not going to starve. You know what I'm saying? But they depend on you. But you can just do it in a lifestyle. What you do is for you too. I was talking with the guy who's doing the contracting to dig the hole out here. Anything you paint out here is yours. It's like a blank canvas. That paver is not theirs. You're not paying somebody else's mortgage. That's your paver. That's your little picket white fence that you want. Maybe you want a big fence. It's yours. Every stroke counts. You're painting why live in somebody else's picture, in somebody else's world? Paint your own world. Paint your own life. Why are you living this cookie cutter life? Thinking that no, that's not what life is. Life is having actual time, because if you do collaborate with people, you can have abundance of time and take days off. I can call in sick to work and say, you know what, boss, I am tired of looking at you. I'm just sick of looking at you. I'm not coming into work today. Well, I'm sick of looking at you too. I'll see you tomorrow. Have a good day. Okay, bye. Because I'm the boss. I make my schedule. I don't get to just take days off. There's days I have to work longer, but there's days that I don't have to work as long. There's days I can not work at all if I don't want to. Remember, I'm calling in sick to work today, boss. I'm sick of looking at you. All right, sick of looking at you too. Bye. See you tomorrow. Take 2 aspirin. Call me in the morning. And I said, you are in control of your life, your time, your food, your. Oh no, God! What if the crop goes bad? You better start learning how to grow things now. You better start learning how to grow things. Animal husbandry, you just don't grow food overnight. It's you'll never jog because you're too young. This is supposed to be 18 and older in the stream, but we get people who are 30 and 40 and 50 and act like children. You're somebody's child. Everybody's somebody's child. So, but this is what I'm saying, guys. This is where I figured it out. This is where society has gone wrong as a whole. We let them take this from us. Again, during the Second World War, 40% with victory gardens, they encouraged the U.S. populace to grow food. Grow food. You know what I'm saying? How did you get in here? All right, we'll keep the conversation clean while you're in here. Nobody's supposed to come in here that's not 18. It's just because we say some adult things. We don't want to offend anybody, so um, we'll keep it clean for now. I won't talk about anything that's. We'll keep it clean for a minute. We'll let you hang out here. I don't normally ever let anybody stay in here, but we're just talking about food right now, and this is something that every children should be brought up and know how to grow food, anyways. So this is good. Learn how to do this at a young age. You will do very well in life. You should do very well in life. You know, and this is be something that children do. If you look at a lot of these homesteads, young adults are contributing major factors to the homestead. They work hard. You know, this young man over here is 16. He works at this farm. He goes to this high school. He's a farm kid. Man, he is absolutely, but that's how farm kids, they're not perfect, but they work hard. They're not afraid of a little bit of work. Throw hay bales in the back, they're strong kids, and they got a strong mentality and they don't have that city mindset. They're not afraid to go put in an honest day's wage, work, and then maybe go play some video games at the end of the day. They don't sit there and play video games all day, not stuck in technology all day. They're high tech rednecks. They use technology. You should see some of these farm implements. They're little children out there at 11 years old. You know what I'm saying? You're about to be a teenager. Okay. Wow. You're super young. Okay. That is. Hey, look, I'd love to keep you in here. I just don't want to slip up and say something. Look, the future is not is not fame. It's not fame. It's not to be famous. The future is to be independent of anybody else in the system. You are so hard against you, but you don't if you do it right. If you can learn how to grow your own food and become your own system, don't ever think that the government will ever be here to save you. Nobody's going to be here to save you. You have to save yourself. And this is not a religious channel. He says we have to endure to the end to be saved. So it's going to be a long road into your very last day. And that could be a long time from now. And it doesn't matter. You don't worry about when you won't be here. You're young, and so you probably still have time, and it doesn't matter. Until then, till that day, do not listen to your parents. Listen to your parents. You have to listen to your parents till you're 18. But when you turn 18 and you go in this world, you try to be ready to not have to depend on anybody but you. You become your own system, your own power company, your own water, have your own food, and build your own house if you can, and don't acquire any bills that are unnecessarily, and you'll be just fine no matter how expensive it is in the future, because it's just going to get more. Look, you're probably old enough, and I got to moderate you out of here. They are printing $1 trillion. I do this for what I do for younger generations like you. $1 trillion. That's hard to even say. $1 trillion. If you came back here, Lolo, every day, and I gave you $1 million, it would take me 360,000 years to pay you off one. That's like staking dollar bills and stacking them like this. Not like this or like this, but stacking them like this. We go to the moon and back 4 times. 4 times and back. You're not going to need money. Is going to be so expensive to buy anything. But if you can grow your own food, grow your own meat, grow your own vegetables and fruits, and have your own power source, and build a little home and own a small plot of land, you'll always probably be able to go more and more and jump up from there. And don't worry, you don't need to be worried about any of that right now, because your parents hopefully will be providing for you. But tell your parents to come in here, because I need to talk to them to make sure they're providing for you in the future. They do. They need to make sure. That's what parents are supposed to do, because they wiped your butt when you were younger, right? We can say that without being, butt's not going to be the end of the world. But one day right? They wiped your butt. One day you might have to wipe their butt for them, because they're going to get old. Like me, I'm getting kind of old, and I might go down. And so we need to take care of you younger generations, or we are not going to have anybody to wipe our butts. Okay? So don't worry about anything in this world. There's nothing at your age, it sounds like, that you should be worried about. Just go enjoy your time and try to stay off the electronics as much as possible too. Go be a kid. Go be a kid. You know what I'm saying? Think about kid things. Okay? This is a hard world that you live in. We got to get you out of here, though. Thank you so much for coming in here and telling us that, we need to know that, Lolo, because sometimes we talk about some adult things in here. So just go be a kid and enjoy yourself, and try not to think about too many things. Don't think about money or right now. You shouldn't be thinking about anything like that. But you can be thinking about growing food and the things we talked about. Absolutely. You should start doing that right now. Children could grow food at 3, 4, 5 years old. You know what I'm saying? So, all right. Thanks for coming in here. If they'll let you come in here and sit next to you or whatever, you're more than welcome to come in here. I appreciate you coming in here. I'll come back tomorrow. I'm going to put you in timeout, not like, you're in the corner. You're not in trouble, okay? But for TARS, go talk to your parents. Okay, man, how the hell did YouTube let somebody in here under the age of 10 years old? What do they say or something? Almost a teenager? I thought they were like 10 or 11, 12. Holy smokes. What the hell, YouTube? YouTube. There's no letter J. What the flipping... All right, so guys, I figured out the answers to the secrets of the universe. It's called don't go to the grocery store ever again. I can't do that. There's no way that's possible. All right, bye. See, I don't think you're going to click here. Hey, have you ever wanted to grow your own food? You found your home. You found your people. If not, go somewhere else, please. Seriously, if you ever want to grow your own food, this may be your home. You may have found home. We do more than just food in here. We eat meat of the word, but this might be you may have found the right spot because we talk about this a lot. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's fine. I'll still get him out of here anyways. I thought that maybe for a minute. It crossed my mind there, Ziggy. Absolutely, positively it did. Yeah, he just toyed with you. But no, he seemed sincere. He just seemed sincere. It didn't seem like a troll. So thanks for making a mention of that. There's always people front, huh? Yeah, that picture of that lady you've been sending all that money to, that's an ugly dude. Big old freaking got the Dunlap's disease. His freaking belly Dunlaps over his belt. And you're sending all kinds of spending all my money on it and spending time on it. Oh, this internet, man. You can be anybody you want. Holy crap, guys. That freaking sunset. It's not that good. It's just sprayed in. Let's go look at the sunset. It's not that good, but I just got to go poke my eyes out there anyways. Oh, okay. Darn it. It's not. Get some crazy sunsets out here. Never seen sunsets like anywhere except for this valley the way it is out here. It is unbelievable. Oh, it's not focusing in very much, is it? Boy, what the hell's going on? Yeah. Look at this, what happens when you got 4G. So, but anyways, look at all this nastiness over here, this spray. Oh, dude, what the hell? Hold on, let me... I got the worst phone. I got the worst phone ever. No, that's nothing. That is nothing compared to what this sunset out here. It is purples and pinks and chartreuses and oranges and yellows and reds and peaches. And yeah, this is just a tiny bit. We got a little bit of peach in here, and it's not showing up very good. But oh well. We got our first star up there. This high desert is something else. This sky out here. Another star poking out over there, huh? Whoop. Yeah, we get, I mean, it just turned, the whole sky out here was just, oh man, I can't even tell you the way it gets. So it's unbelievable. We've been out here on some before, but we're still partially light out here. It's not completely. Look at this blue in this sky, though. This is why I live out here. Look at the color of this sky, guys. I'll tell you, I've never seen the sky like this valley. No, I've been in all 50 states. I lived in Alaska, lived in Hawaii, but the blue, look at that blue. Look at that blue. It is just unfathomable out here. Sometimes the blue in the sky is not like, I miss that. That's this blue that I remember as a kid. I remember the sky being that color when I was younger, you know what I'm saying? And it never gets that blue anymore. It's always just pale blue. So love the sky in this valley. So we're out here at the Rusty Cowboy. So let's go back inside where we can get some more light on the subject. Looks like the birds put themselves up. We got to make sure I put this. Yep, I knew I needed to do that. Oh, I got to come out here and put the chicken thing on the top of the feed there before I go back in there. Hey there, Sweet Pea. What are you doing, girl? Oh, you can't see her. What are you doing? All right, let's go back inside. We'll go back inside here. I'm gonna go turn the stove on and heat up. I made some beef sausage and some cabbage. So this is wow, look at that horrible camera. That is the Rusty Cowboy. The Rusty Cowboy. Yeah, it wasn't very pretty. I saw it. I was like, we'll go out there for a minute. So we'll go out there for a minute. Sunset in here behind me. It's not very, sometimes this sunset goes way up into the, it's just, but there's a little bit of color in it tonight. Oh. Going back in the cabin. It's a little chilly out there. It's a little chilly out there. Oh, I'm a little disappointed about that darn. I bought that 400 amp breaker. I think I bought it about a year and a half ago is what it was. I think it was more than a year ago. Could have been more of that. I think it was a couple years into the COVID, I think I bought it. Holy crap. Maybe a few years, yeah. Oh, yeah. Might have to step down my power source down there, I think I can get a power box for about $300. That's a 200 amp breaker box with the dual. I think it might be a little bit more than that, somewhere right around there. I don't know the pricing. I looked on Harbor Freight, Home Depot, Lowe's. I did some shopping. Remember I was saying I looked around. So a lot cheaper. But then again, they don't run that dual line. There's a whole different line. The best thing I could do is to get this 400 amp breaker in here now. Pay for it now, and I'll be glad that I did later, so to speak. So I'm going to try to find this attachment accessory box, that goes on the side of it, maybe. So I'm not going to rush that. I'm going to make sure I've already have almost $1,000 invested in that box, alone. So the one with the side panel that has it, $1,600. So I'm just wondering if I could buy the attachment for it. You know what I'm saying? Buy that side. That's why I called all 3 distributors today, or that make that box, and none of them could give me any information. So it wasn't very helpful, but they were super helpful. They just wasn't showing up on their screen. So I think I'm going to take it. I called the electrical company out here in this valley today, and I had the owner call me back. I didn't hear back from him. So maybe I'll just drive up there and take the box up there and have a look at it and see if they can. Yeah, hey, appreciate it, Sunflower. I appreciate like I say, I'm excited to get back on the grid out here because I want to, I'd like to get the freeze dryer. I came out to this valley with 3 freeze dryers. Now I don't have any because I didn't have a constant power source to hook them up. Excited to have the freeze dryer so we don't waste anything. And then we can get extras. I can buy in bulk and freeze dry. I can raise in bulk. That means I can get more animals out here, more feed, because I know I won't waste them. So really excited about going back on the grid. So appreciate good comments in here. I really do appreciate anybody who puts good comments. That's what makes the ministry what it is. This isn't just some channel to entertain yourself. We're here really trying to make good do with our time. It's okay to waste some time and have fun. But I can't be all fun all the time. I gotta be more business than pleasure. More business than pleasure. Oh man. Get my drink here. All right, I'm getting my got some beef sausage and some cabbage here. All right, boys. All righty. Oh. Ooh, man. Oh, I'm trying to work through this freaking pain. All right, here we go. We're gonna make. I made me some beef sausage and cabbage, and it's super hot, so I just have to kind of pick at it here a little bit. Screen looks a little blurry. It always is. Your screen, your quality sucks, man. You have the worst quality on YouTube. You're the only one on YouTube using a 4G camera. What do you broadcast from a potato? Oh yeah, sausages. I don't know. I don't think it's gonna get cold enough. I might not have to bring the ladies in tonight for the first time. I'll have to look. Get the updated weather. Good stuff, man. I love cabbage. I don't know why I like cabbage so much. Sausage and cabbage is a good combo, man. Look at that. Cabbage and sausage. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is. Thank you, Father. That's fabulous. Freaking loved freaking me some beef sausage, you know what I'm saying? I got them all cooked all nice and look at that one. It's all perfectly brown on the end there. Oh yeah. A little crunch on that one, huh? Man, that's a good cabbage. It's nice and sweet. Sweet. You cook the beef sausage a little more. Give it that salty flavor, you know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, I like sauerkraut. Boy, I like me some sauerkraut. Back when I used to eat pork, I don't eat pork, but man, some sauerkraut, some pork ribs. Oh my goodness. I'll make them pork ribs where them pork ribs just fall off the bone. You know what I'm saying? The pork just literally with sauerkraut. That's like my favorite thing to eat sauerkraut with. So it's actually been a country minute since I've had some sauerkraut because I don't eat pork. So I don't know. It's probably maybe been 10 years since I had sauerkraut. Well, what I did, and I put it on. What else? I make some other things with sauerkraut. I forgot, but that's always my favorite. Uh, nice. The reason you don't want to eat pork, you can eat pork. I'm not telling you don't eat pork. I eat all the pork you want. Not going to get to God because you eat pork or you don't eat pork. That's not how it works. Not under this covenant. We're not under the dietary laws. You're not related to the high priest, Aaron, Levite, and that's Old Testament law. But remember, anything a pig eats in 4 hours, whatever it's eaten is in its meat. That doesn't happen with the cow. Remember, they have 4 stomachs, shoes, cud, split hoof, right? That's why we know there's certain animals. But remember, we're not under the dietary laws. So you could eat pork or sausage. I don't eat it because I don't raise it myself. If I raised it myself, that's the last time I ate pork because I can't get good pork anymore. It's really hard to get unless you're getting it like from some Mennonites that are raising it or Amish. I wouldn't trust pork from anywhere now. It's just not raised the same. And what I'm saying is that whatever they eat in 4 hours, it's in their meat. And then we eat that, and that's why it's just because they eat trash. Again, um, if you went by the dietary laws, meaning you don't eat anything, you know what I'm saying, that eats another animal, they'll eat a dead carcass like a carnivore. We can eat meat, but we're not supposed to eat animals that eat other meat because they'll eat something that is dead. A dead animal can cause you to just hear me out, or poop. Father doesn't want us to eat anything that eats poop or another animal. Period. That is the dietary laws in a nutshell. Scaleless, anything that's normally scaleless is a bottom feeder and it eats off the bottom. Like crabs and crustaceans, they're scavengers. They eat poop, they eat dead things. If you never uptook something that ate another animal or ate poop, I guarantee you'd probably live to be well over 100 years old. We don't live that long anymore, but you would probably easily live to be over 100 years old. But that's not what we put in our body anymore. So we're like infants. If we can fit it in there, we'll try to put it in our mouth. I don't think there's anything on this rock that we have not tried to eat. Cut it up, put it in, cook it, do something. Everything. We have eaten everything on this rock. So what we think is weird in some cultures is not in the other two, which is crazy. Like dog, Korea, they eat dog, right? Kegogi or dogogi. there, there is, bulgogi, right? But that's weird to you. You go to the Chinese buffet, you're like, hey, why does this chicken have hair instead of wings? No, that's just feathers. Yeah, right. Yeah, whatever. That don't look like no feathers to me. Hey, yeah. So, but don't eat anything that it eat another animal, and you're not going to run any risk of having those issues, if that makes sense. So we're not under the dietary. Yeah, anything that eats another animal, we need to be, because it can eat another carcass, a dead animal, or poop. Just look at it that way. And remember, we're not under the laws of the dietary laws, so eat whatever the hell you want. It's okay. Just moderate. Like, I don't know who said that earlier. Like, we don't eat it that often. Yeah, just don't eat that often. Your body can process it. But do remember that pigs have, remember, worms, okay, guys, parasites. Pigs have parasites. And that is one of the hardest things to get out of your body. They've shown it, is swine parasites are one of the most. That's why he cast the unclean truths into the swine. It is the most low energy food you could probably put in your body. That's why I don't eat it. I don't eat it for the dietary, because I'm not under the dietary laws. I eat it because it's an energy thing to me. I don't want that low energy in my body. If I raised it and I did myself out of the property, I ate it. But I won't buy it from anybody else. Never. No. I may never eat pork again. I'm not going to. It's okay. Not the end of the world. And if you eat pork every day of your life until you die, it's not the end of the world. You're not going to go to hell because you ate pork. So don't let anybody tell you can't eat it. Oh, well, it's unclean meat. Dude, that's the dietary laws of the Old Testament. We're not under the dietary laws. Shut up. He made all these things clean. So we wouldn't be under any of this. You're not going to get the Father because you eat or don't eat something. You know how you're not going to get the Father is by not going out and tell people, Baphomet is Bel, and that's both man, beast, and woman. We shouldn't be having sex with beasts, and we shouldn't celebrate anybody who would have sex with beasts or with children. Trump 2028. He said it. He might even be here for 32, he said, right? Remember? Yeah, he just said that the other day. Like yesterday or something. So, talk about swine. Oh, man. Look at that sausage. Oh, man. Look at that sausage. And it's beef. It's not pork. Mm-hmm. So, have you seen, guys? Is anybody disagreeing with me? I mean, this is where we're going wrong, guys. This is where we're going wrong. We're not growing any food. You know why you keep going to work? Because you keep trying to catch up, and you're never going to start growing your own foods. You're always just going to be chasing that clock, never getting ahead. You won't. They'll keep raising the price of food. Shrinkflation. I showed you the 1 gallon pickle jar now is a half a gallon. They don't sell gallon pickles anymore. Half a gallon. Costs more money for half the pickles. Half a gallon. Look at the pickle jar. It's not that big 1 gallon anymore. It's a half a gallon. That's called shrinkflation. You're paying more for sometimes half as much. Remember, the chips used to be way fuller. I don't care how many ounces it said. Those chips used to be a lot fuller in those bags. I don't care what they said. Now they're like half full. Like, I don't buy chips, but I'm just saying. I look at the bags. I'm like, it's all air. Where all the chips go? Everything's shrinking. So yep, that's right. See, Sabrina, that's where I figured it out. We screwed ourselves by letting our garden go. You know what I'm saying? I love the book of Ezekiel, man. Ezekiel, Revelation, Genesis. Ephesians, Thessalonians, Corinthians, Colossians. Man, I love all the gospel, baby. Man, oh man. This is fire. Sweet freaking sweet cabbage with the salty beef freaking. What's going on, G? But look at what Sabrina just said, guys. We lost our way. If 40% to 50% of the populace in whatever country you're from was growing food right now, your world you lived in wouldn't even look the same. Half of the people would just grow food. Half the people that would just change so many things. What if food wasn't expensive? What if food was cheap? Where it was more than we knew what to do with. It was abundant because so many of us grew food. They might not know what the so. You're giving away your independence by becoming supply chain dependent. Even if you could start by cutting off the big box chain and bringing it back down to like farmers markets, Amish, your local farmer who raises beef, and go start making a relationship with them now. That way, if the grid went down, you could go do business with him. It won't be the first time you've knocked at his door or went over and said, hey, I'd like to go in. I have a neighbor. We'd like to get a whole cow this time. Not just a half a cow or a quarter cow. I brought in 2 neighbors. Can we buy a whole cow this time? Can we get a better rate on a whole cow than a quarter or half a cow? Yes, of course, we'll give you a better rate on a whole cow. Right? You buy in volume, you get a volume discount. Go to the dealership and buy 3 H3 yellow Hummers. General Motors, they're going to give you a better deal. So we could really save ourselves so much headache, you know what I'm saying? If we just take our independence back, but we won't. Guys, we have solar panels now, you know what I'm saying? We have solar. We have wind. These things are affordable now. This ain't like when solar first came out, a panel on your roof would cost you $10,000 just to hook up some panels. I got a couple $1,000s in my system. Tops. It's been working for 5 or 6 years. I charge my batteries to work with cordless battery. I charge my phones. The phone is plugged in right now off the sun today. The sun. Father gave me, not free because I had to pay for the system, but free energy. They don't tax me on none of this. They can't turn my power off. I'm the power company. There's no rolling brownouts in this household here, right? Very controlling. Your life feels totally different when you control your power source. It's empowering, brothers, sisters. It is. It's like, oh, yes, that is awesome. I was out here for 5 years. I didn't make power like that. I used a generator, gas. I did. Stupid. I should have already done it, but. Oh, that juice is good. But you can get to where you don't have a cost of living. Not like that. Nothing you can't. I don't get Social Security. I don't get disability. I don't get veterans benefits. I don't get child. I don't get any money. I work for what I have. I'm a horse trader. I barter. I sell. I fix things. I build things. I 6 years ago, almost 7. Now, darn, it's going by fast. Or 6 years ago, everything was taken off this property. You had to start all over again with the tent. I came out here in a tent, guys, with a bunch of sagebrush, looking up the mountain range right behind me, and all this, the valley, Table Rock, what I went out and showed you. Nothing but a big pile of sagebrush. No trees on this property. That's all right. I could plant trees, you know what I'm saying? The trees are right here. I'll never let that stop me. I'm like, man, I'm just going to start with one freaking tent. I'm going to do what I can. I'd rather start this way than try to have somebody tell me I can't live on my land. You can kick me out because I'm a renter, or, I missed one mortgage payment and now I can't even refinance my house because I got a 20, 30, 50-year mortgage now. What? Most people in America will never truly achieve that home ownership, which is sad to think. I own that home. It's in my name. I own it outright. It's not that pretty right now, but when I'm done, it'll be a nice home. I'll put tile and look at the windows and stuff. I'm going to make it nice. It's going to take me a lot more than it did years in the past. I can only tinker and do, but it's going to be nice. And I'll own it. Every stinking bit of it. I'll own the slate. I'll own the tile. I'll own all of it. As you pay a big mortgage for somebody, you get in the house and get credit, you pay for it on 30 years. What the hell is your problem? That's your problem. You've attached yourself to all this debt, thinking you need something by starting out big when you should start out as small as you possibly can and build yourself back up. So if you get knocked down, you've already been down. You know what it's like as well. I've been here before. I can do this again. Hallelujah. I think that's why Father beats the snot out of some of us more than others. He just likes to beat us to see if we'll just keep building, if we'll turn our back on him. He'll knock our house down over and over again. And will you turn your back on me? Do you say you love me? You say you're this man of God and you say this, I'm just going to keep beating you until you turn your back on me. But you don't, brother, sister. You can't. When you know Father's doing it, you won't do that. Why? Why would you? It's him doing it. Even if there's something you don't understand, he will show you this. He will reveal these things to you later. Don't try to figure out. Father says, I do all these things after my own counsel. So he counsels himself on why he's correcting you. You might not have any idea. Some things could take years to... Oh my, sometimes I thank God for unanswered prayer, right? Father knows. Man, please bring her back to me, Father. I love her. Maybe she's going to do something horrible and you're going to beat the snot out of her and you're going to go to jail for the rest of your life. Maybe it's not physical. Maybe it's just saying, who knows? Let Father do what it is. If it's difficult in your life, most of the time, if you do not comprehend what he's doing, give it some time. Be patient. Let him work with you. Let him fight your battles for you. Don't let that person piss you off so much you go mad and get mad at him. He's going to be accountable. She's going to be accountable for everything they did to you. Oh, no, I got to get back at them. I got to make it right. I got to make it fair. I've made mistakes like that. You can find my history in the past of trying to do that same damn thing. Trying to go make it equal with somebody. No, he said, if somebody comes take your stuff, give them the rest of what you have. Be fighting over anything like that. Wrestle not against flesh and blood. Anything that comes from the dirt. Father doesn't want us to love the dirt. He wants us to love the word. So there's two things that Father could take out of my life right now would be my dog and my cat. I mean, I could lose the ministry or whatever, but he has stripped everything out of my life. I don't have anything else except for this ministry. So if Father has stripped me back to where I don't really have anything in my life, I don't have anything. I don't have a friend. I don't have a family member. Nobody I've known for years and kept up with any extended period of time. I have a relationship. People come cook food and eat with me. Somebody I bring into my house. I don't have anybody. I don't have a friend and I don't have a family and I have no life. And I still serve the word. I still serve the word. He's taken everything from me. Recently, a lot more than, my son. The loss of my son and daughter is just, it's the last of what I had. It's the only thing I actually had other than this ministry. I didn't really have an attachment to this world like that. I just wanted to go travel and I don't need an attachment, but it's not going to stop me. The only thing of the reason why I'll ever stop chasing after Father and, following the Lamb is because I'm not breathing anymore. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not going to say he can't make it any worse because he will. I never tempt Father like that. I used to. Oh my God, you're going to get any worse? Bam. Oh yeah, boy, God, don't ask for that. That just got a lot worse. So I don't. I know it's going to get worse. I already know things in my life. I'm going to go through some horrible things in my future, and I'm not going to want to do them at all. And I'm just going to have to say, all right, Father, well, this is where you want me to be. Then I'm not going to turn my back on you. You can't make me do it, Father. Want to know why? Because you are making me come to you. I don't have any control of my body. I get up every day and I don't want to be alive. I hate waking up, not ever knowing that probably know that I don't think I'm going to ever be able to talk to my son and daughter again. And I might not find that they're alive. I already, again, have made contact with my son, with my son's wife, his girlfriend of many years. Her father don't answer me back. Elijah's mom don't answer me back. Nobody will contact me. Not even the cops will look for him. Remember, I can't report him murder or missing. It's one, most people in this world, at least in America, I would hope, when they have a child that they know, here's the murder, here's who murdered them, here's the motive, here's the motive, gold, silver, here's all the motive, here's who did it, here's all my proof, right? Somebody goes out and investigates their murder or being raped, right? How many times have I reported Elijah John Werner murdered, kidnapped, right? Kidnapped, and Adriana. And nobody will take a police report, not the state police, not Josephine County, where they were both murdered at, by Marshall Radonich. I don't care. Unless, well, how come he hasn't called me? How come he hasn't said, dude, I know you said I murdered my daughter on the internet? Because he shaved his head and freaking moved. He's gone. Right where Elijah was at, or at least I know that's where Adriana's car, and I know he was there. They were together. I reported. Remember, I got thrown in jail. Oh, if we go there and look for him, we'll throw you in jail. So anything I've ever done, Father, has always beat the living piss out of me. Look at the last 2 years of my life. It just backfired. Those 180 hours that I talked about for 257 hours, even when I went to jail, before I went to jail, they asked me, hey, do you have anything to say? I said, yeah, I've reported my son and daughter murdered in this courtroom. Does anybody care? Oh, turn around, put your hands behind your back. Nobody cared. Nobody said anything. Nobody said a single thing. Nobody's ever came and talked to me about Elijah. Nobody's ever came and talked to me about Adriana. Not one investigator, nobody from the state, nobody from the federal government, nobody. Nobody has ever looked for Elijah. Nobody. I'm the only one looking for Elijah. If I didn't bring him up, he would go into the ether. He would never be talked about again. His mom don't care about him. His grandma, his grandpa, his uncles, his aunts, nobody cares about the young man. Nobody cares about him at all. Nobody cares about Elijah Werner except for me. If I wasn't advocating for him, his whole thing would have already been gone, lost. Nobody would ever said anything about him. But was it me that got him killed? Remember? Over the stupid gold and silver, because I didn't listen to what my son said and take it and go on the road. And he said, Dad, that's going to get stolen from you. Spend it now on you. You always do this. This is what I don't like about you, Dad, is you won't spend anything on you. You don't do anything for you. Your whole life is about God. All you do is God. You've literally moved out in the middle of nowhere. You can't talk about anything without talking about God. Somebody will try to talk to you about something, and in 2 minutes, you're talking to them about God. And then you tell them, well, God created all things. I don't care what you say. But that God, everything's God. So what? God created evil. God created all things, evil and good. So everything does have to do. There's no such thing as man-made. People don't like that. And that's why people don't like you, Dad. And that's why people don't want to hang around you. And that's why you don't have any friends and you don't have any family. And, you won't leave because you have the dogs. So you just do this to yourself. You sit there and just punish yourself. You brought this on by yourself. You should just take that money if you want to go, and go now. You have everything you need to do, but you won't, because you'll think that you need to pay off this is what my son said. You need to pay off the ministry. You want some of that for me. Why do you have gold, Dad? I don't gold. What? Some of it for me, and then you could go on the road because you're trying to, I know how you work, Dad. You apple don't fall for the tree. Just take it, Dad. You don't want the money. I have silver, Dad. Can't believe you have gold, and do something for you. Finally, you said when I turned 18, I'm 26 years old almost now. And you're still sitting here because you think you have to raise these dogs on a farm because they need land. You have dogs and they don't want to, because you don't want to take them on the road. Well, now you have enough money to buy the double cab Tacoma. Oh, I know you don't like newer trucks, and that's way more than you would think you would ever spend on a vehicle, but that's what you need for the dogs so they don't breathe down your neck in an extra tab. Get the double cab Tacoma. Screw me. Whatever. Pay the land off later, Dad. You don't need to pay it off right now. Just go on the road. Now he's gone because I didn't listen to him. And again, I think it was the gold that Marshall killed him over, that same precious metals. I didn't listen to him. It's going to get me killed, Dad, if you don't spend this money. Boy, I would have done something if I would have known that, huh? So see, there are some of these things that Father does to us, brothers and sisters. Some of us will never get the answer for, ever. And we have to hang on. Is he alive? Is he dead? Is he sitting there waiting? It's like being mind menaced every single day of your life. But the only thing that keeps me settled is faith. That's it. Faith and faith alone. I have faith that Father knows exactly what he's doing. And if I even question it, I'm in the wrong. I shouldn't question anything. Elijah is exactly where Father wants him to be. Because if not, he'd be living on that property up the street, right? One of those jury members would have said not guilty, and I wouldn't have gone to jail. Maybe somebody would have, nothing's happening by chance. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so just so you know, I'm not here for me. There's nothing left in this flesh. Is just, I'm banged up. I already told you guys. I have to go to the doctor again. Friday, I have another appointment. I hurt myself again. Last time I went in there, they said, yep, you have a compression fracture. You have this. So I did. I hurt myself again, picking up that toilet. I knew I was going to do it. So, this life would be a lot easier if I didn't have to be live in mental pain and torture, to be menaced by Father constantly every single day. But the pain and the physical pain is getting so old. I'm just tired of it. I used to be able to just deal with it and not. I'm just tired of it and hurt too much now. You know what I'm saying? So I have to take care of myself. I got to fix myself. That's why I'm doing this right now, guys. I got to endure another 50 plus years. I can't give up. I want my last years to be my strongest years. Father will pour out a just measure. There's nobody's going to get away with anything. So I have to take care of myself. We need to tell that to each other. We have to do the preventive maintenance on ourselves. You can't just let yourself fall apart. If he says you must endure, that doesn't mean you get to fall apart. You got to take care of yourself. So you're not making mistakes. I've talked to you about it. I'll see what this doctor says. I'm not going to have a fusion surgery. There's no way I'm going to fuse my body together. It's going to slow me down, and I have too much life to live. If I didn't think I was going to be here another 20 years or something like that, I'd just say, yeah, go ahead and fuse me together. But I'm trying to live to be, 104, 5, 6, 7, 8, whatever. I don't want to live that. I don't want to be alive right now. I never got cheated. Nobody's going to ever say I got cheated. Nope. I had a child. I was told I would never even have kids. And I have my son, Elijah. I had him for 25 years. I told him that before they shot him that day and said, son, I got to spend 25 years with you. I only got to spend 7 years with my dad. Don't you ever think that we didn't Father gave us so much time together. You were my shadow. Remember, you wanted to be with Dad so bad. We spent a lot of time. We did things that we faced your biggest fear. Remember, you were afraid of volcanoes more than anything, so we went and lived on a volcano. And now you don't fear a volcano. We did some of the most amazing things. So don't ever think that you got cheated. I didn't get cheated. I had a kid. I got married. Although my wife committed adultery, had some other man's child, I still got to get married. It seems like some of the things that happen in my life, it's good and bad. It's never just one way. It's a duality life that I live. But I got to have multiple careers. You know what I'm saying? Military. I hate that I served in the military, but I've got to do a lot of things that. Held a commercial license, still hold a commercial. I can't use the damn thing anymore, but I still hold a license. You know what I'm saying? School bus driver, got to drive around school kids in Alaska. That was a freaking amazing job. I love that job so much, man. Had a blast doing that. You know what I'm saying? So look at this. This property, I owed it outright. I own 20 acres, right? Outright. I own the other 20. I sold it. I've been selling property because I've been able to work without a payment. Remember, nobody's paying my bills. Father's making me work for it. That's why, whether I like it or not, even as busted up as I am myself, calluses on my hand. I don't even hardly work as hard as I used to. You know, I don't get, like I said, I don't get that life where I get to breathe. I get to take a break here now. I don't get that life. I'll always something. So, but Father doesn't make mistakes. You know what I'm saying? Um, but if I can do it, I don't see why anybody else can't do it. Because Father makes it super difficult on me, and I still find time to. I don't know. I spend more of my time in the Word than I spend anything else. Period. And I don't care. I've gotten to my life like that. Oh, you're wasting so much of your life. No, I'm not. My treasure awaits. I spend more time in the Word, supping with the Word, reading the Word, sharing the Word with others than I do anything else. It's who I am. It's who He made me be. It's not who I am. It's who He made me. I am this man because of who He made me. And I don't have the desire to do this. He's the one who gives me this inner passion like fire to just keep the fire burning and don't ever let it burn out. You know what I'm saying? So I thank Father for this strength because I know there's so many things I'm never going to get the answer to. I don't think I'm ever going to see my son again. And I'm so, like with Father, it's just like you couldn't ever just let me know anything that he's alive or dead. But I might not ever know that. My daughter. Imagine getting your own children killed and then nobody will even come talk to me. Why won't they throw me in jail and arrest me or something? Do something to me, for Christ's sake. Somebody do something. I don't have anything to do with it. Come on. Somebody come arrest me, throw me back in jail because I'm a bad dad because I was trying to get you to look at for him, to look into his hours. And then I got him killed. So why don't you come, no. Father doesn't make mistakes. I just have to live with that every day that I both not only got my son killed, but my daughter killed too. So woke to my brain. Oh, but I try to let these things go, brothers sisters. And again, I said put faith in Father, and He's doing. He didn't make any mistakes. So if anybody made a mistake, it was me, and I'll still continue to make mistakes, and He never will. I'll make plans, and He'll wreck it every time. I'll get so frustrated at him, and he'll laugh at me. He's like, "You're so stupid. You don't even know what you're talking about. You think you know? I've got a much bigger plan for you. You think it's bad yet? Oh, you think it's good now? It's Father. That's the way He works in my life. So, um, brothers, sisters, we can all do this, and if we all could, rely on each other for these strengths too, realize that we all are living a very difficult path. We can see that we all are given a not this easy life where you just get these little speed bumps in life. Some people have that life. Look, yep, yep. Some of us just literally climb mountains, come down. It's not some nice smooth road. It's not. It's ups and downs, and it's a lot of highs and a lot of lows. It's the silver lining. If you know silver, it's not like gold. We must be refined as silver and gold, put through the process, a lot of heat, but silver has higher highs and lower lows. So that's the way it works. That's kind of the way my life is. It just seems like there's higher highs and lower lows. I don't get that steady, whatever. And I'm okay with that. It's been that way so long for me. Like I said, when I get going like this, I'm like, oh, here comes, here comes, here comes. Wow. I say, I know it before it ever happens. You know what I'm saying? Like, here it comes. Father's about ready to pull the rug out for me, or I'm going to do it. Like I said earlier, I'm going to pull the rug out, do it to myself, right? So I appreciate it, guys. I just did it to myself with that stupid 400 amp breaker. I should have looked. I just don't know enough about electric. That's my deal. I just won't take the time to look into electric. I could master electric. Electric is not even that damn complicated. When I looked into a few other times, like, really, that's almost like plumbing. That seems kind of similar. It's not that hard, but just something about electric. I just don't do it. Never really have. I have done it, but just don't spend my time. So I'm kind of very unskilled when it comes to the, you know, electric side of the house. And when I bought that, I just didn't pay attention. I said, okay, I need a 400 amp breaker. I want to buy something that's super reputable. One day I'm going to put power on this property. It might not be for 10 years, but I want a good solid unit that I know there'll be parts for later. And this company's obviously still in business, but I don't know. I didn't even think that I just didn't know. See what I'm saying? I'm an idiot. I was an idiot. I just didn't know, and that's okay. And so, um, but now I'm paying the price for it because Father's like, haha, I made you spend 1,000, and now you're gonna have to spend another $1,600 because you didn't get the right one. So, if you guys could do me a favor, I'm gonna probably bounce off here for a minute, and I don't know if I'll come back on here for the end of the night. I got to get up early to do the excavation. I have a doctor's appointment. I got to get up early the very next day too. But if you could look up 400 amp breaker with like a dual phase, or if you could look up, yeah, just see what you find. See what your cost is. My cost is all over the place. It's like so weird. I don't even know if I'm looking at the right one now. I'm kind of hesitant to shop for it because I don't know. I already didn't get the right one. That's why I called it, this company. It was Eton Beeline made by Cooper. I called Cooper. They sent me over to Beeline. Beeline or Cooper sent me over to Eton. Then Eton sent me over to Beeline. I talked to three separate, they all very helpful people, but none of them could actually find the product that I was looking for. It's like a second that you could add to the 400 watt breaker to put a accessory box separate. It has the knockout, so something could be put on the side of it. You know what I'm saying? It does have, it looks like. So if you get a minute, you're watching the restream or something, put it in the chat or something, send me an email, see what you can find on a 400 amp breaker box with I need to have a separate way to get into the box. So it's like a dual phase. I think, like I said, it was like $1,300 to $1,600 or something. So it was what I was hoping, because I already spent 1,000. Maybe I'd spend $300 and get the attachment, because that's all I need. I have most of what I need. Man, I got an itch in my nose. So if you do me a favor and you get on the internet, because your internet could tell you something completely different than mine, and see what you can find out for me. You don't have to write me if you want to just hold off. We'll come back, next time we can discuss it too. So appreciate it, guys. Good day out here at the ministry today. Got the string line run so they can dig out the ditch. I can't dig the ditch, so I got to pay for it, but hopefully it'll be done in the next couple of days and I can settle up, and then it'll be ready to go. Other than, again, I gotta have to get electrical box. I thought I had everything I needed for the electrical box, but Father threw a little wrench in the system again. Oh well, it's not the end of the world. We'll just keep trying to work through it. So, if you can do me a flavor, like 31 flavors, Baskin Robbins or whatever. No, I don't want to rob your time, but if you have some time, if you look up 400 amp breaker for me and tell me what you find, something that has a dual phase, not dual phase, where I can get into the side box, because they were going to lock me out of that box. This is a single. I need the one with a single with the side where I can get in there and switch it off or plug into that side. So see what you can find. I called 3 distributors today and nobody could get me the answer, but we all look at, Google, DuckDuckGo, Yahoo, whatever platform, we all kind of get different results. So I said, man, when I go in the ministry later, I'm going to ask somebody to see if they can help out the ministry. I don't want or hey, look, I'll say that too. Hey, let me put this out there. If you know anybody in the ministry that has a 400 amp breaker box that they would want to donate to the ministry, that would be an abundance, man. I don't really try to, like I said, I told you, unless you guys have large ties, don't send small ties, please. Keep them for yourself. Help the people in your area, help the people you can help, and they're much closer to you. The ministry's doing okay. But if you know anybody that might have a 400 amp breaker hanging around, maybe somebody who's building something, you know what I mean? And they couldn't use that one or something. Maybe that's another option for us before I have to go spend money. Maybe somebody has one. Maybe that I could do a trade too. Maybe I have a single and maybe they could trade for the double. So if you know anybody in your family that has a 400 amp breaker box that has to be able to put the meter in, and then a separate, I'll give you my information on where you could send it to. I'll get you an address, and that would be a great donation to this ministry. It'd allow us to put power here. I would be willing to send you the other $900 box in exchange if you still want. That one's like $1,300, but it's not that much of a difference. But I just don't want to have to pay for it twice. And it's been so long since I bought that one, I can't take it back. It's just too old. I didn't only have the receipt. All right, I can't believe I didn't put the receipt in the box, but I'm normally pretty good about that. But putting that out there. That might be another way to. Um, so maybe someone's got sitting in their garage. I bet you somebody does. Somebody might. So ask around. Ask all your family members. Um, if they want to make a donation to this ministry, they can donate a 400 amp breaker box. It's very well needed. I can't move forward right now until I actually get that box. It's a big thing. I made a mistake, and that's my fault. So I don't want you to have to pay for it. That way, I'm saying maybe somebody actually has one. They're just sitting in their garage or something. Maybe they took out and remodeled. Like it doesn't matter if it's used as long as it's serviceable. And I don't need the meter, because they'll put that in it, but the box itself. So maybe maybe somebody's got one. Look it up for me. See if you can find the cost too. Maybe we can get this cost down because I'm not looking at the right distributors or something. Maybe I can find one for less or something like that. I don't care about the quality. I did buy a really good quality one when I bought it, so I don't even care about quality. I really think they're all really similar to the same. I was like, these really don't look very different from brand to brand. They all kind of have the same inner guts. I bet you they order almost all of them from the same. It's just a different sticker. I've seen like things like that in the industry. So again, looking for a 400 amp breaker. If anybody in the ministry's got one in a box and want to donate, or somebody wants to purchase one for the ministry, I don't have to, but I'm just saying I was just thinking that maybe somebody had one already. People start projects and they don't finish them, and things change, plans change. So I'll pay for the postage if you want, whatever. I don't want to cost anybody to actually, somebody may have bought one already, but put it out there. Okay, guys. I figure it might be, who knows? We might never know. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's a 400 amp breaker, and what I need, what I need is I need the dual. I have one. It's a single phase. It's a 400 amp breaker, but when they come put the lock on it, Ziggy, I can get into that box. So they make one that has a separate box on the 400 amp breaker. That has a door, and this has a door. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like I said, it has to be the not dual phase, but the dual. I have to have access. Mine is a single. Like I said, it's $971 for the one I box. I bought a really nice one. I wanted to buy a good one for the property. I had some money back then. You could buy like a 200 amp breaker for like $300. You know what I'm saying? A dual phase for $300. So they're not that super expensive. I have to downgrade. I'll have to downgrade. It is what it is. I don't want to because I want to be able to shop out here eventually. Put a welder out here. It will eventually too make this property have more value because it has a 400 amp breaker on it. It's the guy even said from the electric company, he said, "Oh, you're getting a 400 amp breaker. That's smart. Pay for pay for it now rather than to pay for it later, because you pay for it later, it ends up costing you more. You've got to take this out, reinstall the line. It costs you more. Pay for it now, and you did it. You're really smart to do that." And I should have brought him in there and had him look at that 400 amp breaker, but I didn't. So again, this is a single phase where it only has one box on it. So once they come in and hook up the power, they lock that box so you can't get back in there. I was either looking for the accessory that went on it, but I don't think that's the way. Maybe they do. Or I am looking for any brand. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I don't care about the brand this time. Normally I do. I mean, I'll just buy the most expensive thing, but I want to get what I pay for. This, I find it doesn't matter. They're real close. They're all just basically a gray box. You'll see the hole, a doorway, and then there's another entrance. They call it like a residential service entrance where it has a switch and some breakers so I can tie in and hook up a freezer right there for now, and then eventually hook up my power to that box. You know what I'm saying? So just see what you can find. I don't want to waste your time. I don't want to take a single penny from anybody. Nobody has to buy it unless they just want to buy it outright. That's okay. But I'd rather hope that maybe what I said here, and then I better go, guys, is that maybe somebody has one. Maybe already somebody has one, and they just didn't use it. That happens. People to go remodels. Maybe somebody bought the wrong one. Maybe they need a single, you know what I'm saying, and they didn't need the double. Maybe they needed a triple because they do have one that has, you know what I'm saying. Uh, Yeah, no, just look. That's what I'm saying. I'm just putting my feelers out. You know what I'm saying? Because when I looked, I was starting to struggle. You look on Google, you might get different results than me. We don't get the same results. You might look and say, oh, look at this. Somebody's saying this link. Yes, that's what I was talking about. You know what I'm saying? $500? Hell yeah, let's do that one. You know, it seems like if a 200 amp breaker is about $300, maybe a 500 amp or 400 amp breaker should be about $500 or something. I don't know where I'm going to come up with the funding right now, but I will. I don't have a choice. I have to. I have to move forward. Like I said, I'm this electric thing. I have people coming tomorrow to do the excavation, so I'm going to have to do this no matter what. Even if I have to spend, I don't know where I'll get it, but if I have to spend that 13, I think I saw one at Home Depot for 1,300. But see, that might not even be. That one might be way more expensive. That one had a lot more stuff in it and a lot more than I needed. I only needed a breaker to turn it on and off from a separate, and I can tie into that breaker. I just don't have that separate panel. It's two panels in one. Mine's a single. It has like a separate window so you can open up over here because they lock this one. And once they put the power into that main power, they run it in there, they lock that box. You don't want anybody getting in that main, tapping in and trying to, you don't do your service work. You do it from a separate accessory box. So it might be called accessory, but it's sold all as one unit. You know what I'm saying? All as one unit. If you could just look and see what you can find, what's available. You don't have to buy anything. You don't have to ask anybody for anybody else for one. I just wanted to originally come in here too to see if I could see what you guys got on your search engine because my search engine is not being very nice to me. It just keeps looking up the same thing. I keep going in this loop of like, I just looked up something that wasn't there, and then I got caught in this loop. I just couldn't get it to kind of come out of that. My phone does that to me. I have a 4G phone too, so the way I mean, just not the best phone in the world, but it is what it is. And then I came in and I was like, wait a minute, somebody might have one in the ministry. Somebody might have one. So ask around, ask your family members. Again, if they want to make a donation, this would be a really important time for the ministry, you know, to pick up something that it would help tremendously if you have one. And again, I would do a swap. I'll show you mine's brand new. I think it's $970 for the one that I have. I mean, I'll even trade it for one that's cheaper if it, you know what I'm saying? And they could sell this one or whatever. I don't want to take anything from anybody, okay, guys? I just want to make that clear. This has got to be something that somebody's like, hey, I got this. Look, honey, it's just sitting there in the garage. I keep kicking it every time you walk out. Oh, don't we have one of those up in the Raptors when we bought the wrong one or something like that, is what I was saying. Don't let me take from you guys, okay? I don't want to take anything from anybody. I appreciate everything that everybody's done, again, in this ministry. I don't live for physical possessions. I told you, I'd rather just not own anything. I swear if I could just walk around naked, I'd be better off. I don't mean to be like that, to be lewd, but I'm just so tired of even carrying around this clothes. It's just, I just want to be free of all my possessions. But I'm not doing this for me. I'm doing this for the ministry. So if you want anybody, again, that can help tithe the ministry by donating a box that they may have bought and they're not using it, I'd love to be able to use it here at the ministry. So I have things for sale too. Maybe I'll trade you something on the internet. I'm a horse trader. Look at Tracy, Werner, my name under Facebook Marketplace. There's all kinds of things I have for sale too. So I don't sit out here, you know, and just try to grift people, man. I will trade you. I don't want to take anything from anybody. So I just want to be free of this stuff, guys. I can't wait to get it all done, however long that may be. And I'm going on the road if Father lets me. I'm not going to make plans because Father will wreck them. But you guys remember I have about a year goal that I'm setting right now. In about a year, if I'm probably going to be leaving this ministry and going on the road. If I can leave sooner, I will. That gives me something to shoot for, a goal that's obtainable. So this next year should just be an absolute wild ride. Hang on. If you're part of this ministry, I have no idea what Father's going to bring. They'll be good. There's going to be a lot of good, brothers and sisters. I know that for sure. But I don't know about the craziness he's going to bring in the next year. So who knows? It'll be a wild ride. This last year was absolutely definitely one of the wildest rides of my life, and so I don't think that's going to change anytime soon. But I'm not getting off this ride, man. I'm not going to stop. I'm not stopping. It's not an option. Father's got me. He's going to keep pushing me to do this, and this is what. Remember what I just. If you are not growing food, they took your sovereignty from you. Father's the only one sovereign, but that's why you can't seem to get ahead anymore. I mean, it's because you're not growing anything yourself. You're not your own supply chain. Everything is dependent on somebody else. You got to get that self-reliance back on you. That way, if things broke down, you're like, oh, it's just another day out here at the farm, right? Oh, they people said that. What happens when lights go out when if you're Amish? It's just another day at the farm. That's how you should be living, brothers and sisters, right? Okay, if that doesn't appeal to you, don't worry about it. If not, if you want to grow food, come back. We'll talk about it more. All right, links in the description through PayPal, Cash App, Bitcoin Cash App, emails in there if you want to send something via email, and there's a P.O. Box you want to send a license plate to the ministry. So the guy came in today to do the excavation, and he liked that. He said that looks cool on the front of, looked nice, with the license plates up front. So I got some license plates too, some vintage plates too. So we got more plates out here. Nobody sent any, but I went and found some at a yard sale, some nice old vintage ones. So if you want to trade, I have got some older plates too to trade. Some old California plates, blue and yellow ones, not the white ones. I got some of those old blue and yellow ones, which are really cool. I always remember those growing up as a kid a lot. So, um, yeah, I'll try. I'm not sure. Like I said, this back laying down has been really difficult ever since, and like I said, I picked up the toilet and ruined it yesterday and just hurt myself so bad. I have to go back to the doctors. I did something. I hope they didn't. I hope I don't. I don't even want to say it. I think I know what they're going to tell me, and I don't want to hear the news. But oh well, life's not Burger King, right? Can't always have it your way. So, okay. Much love, Ziggy. Thank you so much. Appreciate your long time subscription to this ministry. You've seen me through the ups, the downs, but I hope that the base of who I am here is not faltered. What I'm serving here. I get emotional at times. I have a hard life. I miss my son tremendously. Every day I miss him. I want to go to him because if he's suffering, everything inside me I can't stop thinking about it. If you're a parent, you would know what I'm talking about. If your kid is suffering, it don't matter. You'd want to go to him. So it's been wearing me out a little bit, but I'm trying to keep the base core of what I'm doing here at the ministry. Hopefully that hasn't changed, that we're still in here doing the fellowship, why we're here, what we're here to do. Have our wedding rehearsal, right? All right. Much love, Ziggy. Thank you. Appreciate it. And appreciate the support of this ministry. Your time is so valuable. Remember, you don't ever have to donate a single dime to ever be a part of this. That's not what the ministry is about. It's not about monetary. I'm going to walk away from this physical ministry one day and go on the road anyways if nobody will come here. You know what I'm saying? So that won't matter. It will still just be us. This will still be here. It won't go anywhere, and it'll just still be what we have right now. So we don't need to do anything else, out here. It will get done, but don't feel like there's any obligation if you're watching the restream or anything to donate. Don't feel sorry for this ministry. Don't feel sorry for me. People tithe millions of dollars every Friday, Saturday, Sunday to fake ministries that aren't sharing any gospel. So it's a worthwhile cause for you to come back and spend your time here. That's what I want. If you can give it to me, you're going to spend it, and I'm going to take it here, and I'm not going to give it back to you. Know that before you come here. I can't give you time back. How am I supposed to do that? So, but thanks for spending it. I don't want to take anybody's time. All right, guys. Again, thank you for your support. Come back and support the ministry by continue to put awesome, amazing fruit, in the chat. So this is a food-based kind of a live stream. We'll leave it at that. So eat of the meat and drink of the milk, not watered down. Pastor Revelation, Pastor Apocalypse. Whoa.